2, 3, yeah, it's time to bring the heat. We compete, got a mutual enemy. If it's up to me, I'm choosing you. Up in the sky, we'll never lose.
Like an unload, we precise. I will take your advice. Got this energy up, we will take home the prize. So come get it, play this game. Showing all your skills, bang bang.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start. We'll never, together we're off the charts.
No doubt we will get that. Roll out, never sit back.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start. We'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
Yeah, I bet you will show them all your skills.
Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. It all no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang bang, we win. Set in stone. Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
Yeah, I bet you will show them all your skills.
Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang bang, we win. Set in stone. Bang bang, we win.
No matter what, we will weather
Any storm when we're together, we can always aim for more. Yeah, this that bang bang, we're on fire. Yeah. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. We gon' set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang bang, we win. Set in stone. Set the tone like it's set in stone. 2, 3, it is time to bring the heat. We compete, got a mutual enemy. If it's up, I'm choosing you. Up in the sky, we'll never lose.
Like an unlow, we precise. I will take your advice. Got this energy up, we will take home the prize. So come get it, play this game. Showing all your skills, bang, bang.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
No doubt we will get that. Roll out, never sit back,
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
Yeah, I bet you will show them all your skills.
Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set it in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set it in stone. Bang, bang, we win.
No matter what we will weather,
Any storm when we're together,
we can always aim for more. Yeah, it's that bang, bang, we're on fire.
Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity.
We gon' set the tone like it's set in stone.
Set it in stone. We win. Set it in stone.
Tone like it's set in stone.
Feel the pressure, trap is coming, coming.
You better watch out.
I'm on fire, baby, burn it, burn it. MVP like no one knows it, knows it. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you. like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win.
No matter what we will weather,
Any storm when we're together,
we can always aim for more. Yeah, it's that bang bang we love for real.
Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity.
We gon' set the tone like it's set in stone.
Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set in stone.
Set the tone like it's set in stone.
Feel the pressure, check this coming, coming.
You better watch out.
I'm on fire, baby, burn it, burn it.
Feel it.
MVP like no one knows it, knows it. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, it is time to bring the heat. We compete, got a mutual enemy. If it's up to me, I'm choosing you. Up in the sky, we'll never lose.
Lock and unload, we precise. I will take your advice. Got this energy we will take home the prize. So come get it, play this game. Showing all your skills, bang bang.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
No doubt we will get that. Roll out, never sit back, sit back.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
Yeah, I bet you will. Show them all your skills.
Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win.
No matter what we will weather,
Any storm when we're together,
we can always aim for more. Yeah, it's that bang bang we love for real.
Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own Let's go. 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's time to bring the heat. We compete, got a mutual enemy. If it's up to me, I'm choosing you. Up in the sky, we'll never lose.
Like an unload, we precise. I will take your advice. Got this energy up, we will take home the prize. So come get it, play this game. Showing all your skills, bang, bang.
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
No doubt we will get that. Roll out, never sit back,
Let's raise the bar, ready to start, we'll never stop. Together we're off the charts.
Yeah, I bet you will show them all your skills.
Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win.
No matter what we will weather,
Any storm when we're together,
we can always aim for more. Yeah, it's that bang, bang, we're on fire.
Set the tone like it's set in stone. Dive into your reality. Yeah, we can shape our own fantasy. Do it all, no adversity. We gon' set the tone like it's set in stone. Set in stone. Bang, bang, we win. Set in stone. Set the tone like it's set in stone. Feel the pressure, trap is coming, coming.
You better watch out.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting day of Free Fire C Club Clash Squad. It's your boy here, Contra, alongside with the always handsome, the always amazing Mustachio AJ.
Dude, I cannot wait to kick off this day. First of all, it's going to be best of 5. Second of all, we've only got 4 more teams. And to make things even more painful for some of these other regions, 3 out of the 4 from Thailand, the kings of Thais, the kings of Free Fire, continue to reign.
Absolutely, and last week, if you guys didn't check out any of that action, don't worry, we'll fill you in with all those details available. But right now, here in week 2, it's about the best of the best that's currently remaining as they play through best of 5s instead of those best of 3s. And we will definitely see which squad will prevail and be named as the best in Southeast Asia.
At this point of time, we are all putting our money on Morph team, right? Representing Indonesia, this team broke into the top tiers the echelons of Free Fire recently in FFSI, and they sneaked away the 3rd spot. And they might just be able to do that once again, but I don't want that for them, right? I want them to take it all the way, perhaps be even champions this time round. Just to speak a little bit for the Indonesian circuit that we know most definitely can rival against Thailand.
Absolutely, and when we look into who their opponents are, it's definitely no easy task. We got attack all around. We also do have E-Arena and also another amazing squad that we will definitely fill you guys in. So with all that being said, I guess it's time for us to get prepared for all the amazing booyahs.
Oh yeah. The 4th spot for grabs because only 4 more teams are left in the competition. The total prize pool when we first started things off 50,000, but everybody aiming for the lion's share of 20K. And this is the form and explanation as to how we got here.
Absolutely, and when we look back into week 1, every team was only given one chance to fight against their opponent in a best of 3. Whoever loses gets eliminated. And these are basically the survivors here staying in week 2, and they will basically play through that best of 5, like we mentioned. This time around, with a little bit more leeway with double elimination. So whoever gets knocked out, they have one more chance to play through.
Yeah, basically, if you lose today, you don't cry yet. Yet being the key word. You can't lose anymore right after that. And to kick things off, it's going to be attack all around, going up against Team Morph to see exactly who's going to be the first team in the upper brackets. Stigma Galaxy will take on E-Arena. The exact same thing happens there. And this is a clear indication as to which nation, which server currently dominates the world of Free Fire in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, and overall, we've already seen how well they've been able to basically take control of almost different types of fights across these 2 maps, which will be played throughout the course of the best of 5. So we'll be having Bermuda as well as next Terra in between those rotations. So it definitely will be pretty interesting now that we're basically getting some of the best squads that have been able to duel toe-to-toe. And now, only one Indonesian team remaining, like you said. Morph team definitely has to put on a show to keep their nation's flag flying up high.
I'm just so curious as to what is it about Thailand that just makes all of the players so good at Free Fire?
Yeah.
What about them?
And overall, throughout the years that I've been observing the Thai region, they've been absolutely hard at work from what I know. They train almost every single day with great scheduling, and practice never fails you. And of course, before we get into that is, of course, our first match coming right up. It's attack all around versus Morph team.
Nah, I love these stats, man. 129 to 116. Not a lot of difference there in terms of the number of eliminations. The damage is pretty much neck and neck at this point of time. Look at the headshots, how close they are. 25.4% versus 24.2%. We might just have this go all the way down to the wire in game number 5.
Yeah, overall, they're like identical twins from different nations.
Absolutely.
The only biggest difference that I'm looking at here is Morph team's capability to secure those knockdowns. But knockdowns don't mean much if they actually get revived. But that means that their hit rate is absolutely high.
Absolutely, man. Of course, I want to talk also about the rescues that these players are most of the time in charge of, Ambot as well as Jump, as, you know, the players who do sometimes double back down for that backup play. Look at this, 4 and 3 rescues. This is going to be crucial. Like you said, the knockdowns might not be able to secure much for you in the matchup in itself. Yes, it does kind of slow down your opponents, force them to either retreat or, you know, rethink their strategies at a little bit, right? But rescuing your team members, that's going to get you that extra bit of numbers that you definitely can make use of in a fight.
True enough, and overall, when we look into the team composition, these are the household names of Thailand. Attack all around have always been sticking together with these names such as Kororo, of course, with the prodigy Pungat as well, Foki, and last but not least, Jump, which was just featured early on. Now, anything pretty interesting that we can basically take on their setups moving into this week?
Absolutely. You see this time 2 players running the Tiva, so they are going to be prioritizing picking up their own team members rather than engaging, which also kind of tells you what their game plan is going to be. You're not going to see attack all around, quickly flanking all around and playing that very aggressive play. There is a high probability they split off into 2 different teams, right? A 2-2 split, maybe flank around from both sides at the same time, living true to their name. Either way, you are going to see a pretty much defensive attack all around. If they turn aggressive, then you're going to know they're feeling very confident against it.
Yeah. Overall, attack all around is also looking to enable jump, which is why we can see that he's opening up things with the Tetsuya build. Meanwhile, an absolute different look that we're actually getting from your team, where we're having View to be able to enable team going on the Alok, and of course we have Koja here going on Dimitri. So I would say this is pretty much the stable setup that we've seen from the previous week.
Yeah, this is a very balanced setup, right? You've got a 4-stack on the Kelly, you've got a 4-stack on the Andrew, you get the extra speed boost, you get the extra bit of defense as well. Luna's fight or flight gives Pew the extra mobility around the battlefield. He's got the Alok, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky in some of those fights, potentially going to be flanking around from the, trying to face off against some of these flanking side of attack all around as well. But Ma'al, my eyes are going to be on this guy because we know he was the game changer pretty much for Morph last week.
Yeah, he was definitely the backbone of the team where many of all these situations where he was actually pit against the foes.
Yeah.
It seemed like he's always going to be able to find a way out of that and also just find some of all these crucial points back to the team and provide them with enough support in order to drive through. And you see throughout the course of week one, seems like everybody had a little bit of a shaky run as well. Not to say that any team has been able to secure 6-0 in terms of that record on the last time we passed it back on Sunday. Now, heading to this clash, Morph is basically one of the cleanest teams out there. For the record, they were going up against Expand, 6-1 in each respective match.
I mean, you once again have to respect Ma'al for what he was able to do in that matchup. So many of those long-range engagements were just so perfect for the guy. And whenever he is forced into the CQC, his Orion always is there to protect him. His timing with the skill pop is just absolutely amazing. And that's what you want going into a matchup against attack all around. A team that's very mechanically sound.
Yeah, and over the course of the weekend, we've been able to actually see the dominance coming from these two teams, but only one will proceed into the semifinals. So let's begin our first matchup. We'll start off with our Thai Titans going up against Indonesia's Soul Survivors. So it's time for us to move right in to our very first map of Bermuda.
This one's for the pride of Indonesia, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we hop on into the game. Mr. Wagger wagging it out. This is gonna be a fun one, and of course, we want to see exactly who gets the booyah. The very first booyah of the day.
Yeah, I just can't wait to actually get some action done, so let's get it right on.
Bermuda is going to be a very straightforward setup as usual, and it looks like we're going to be taking a crack at each other at the very get-go here. I mean, if this was starting off on a sniper round, you know someone's going to get hurt on the other end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're happy that it starts off in factory so that they can basically get this done and dusted, but...
He's still trying for it, Karoro.
Karoro, he's got a little bit of scope. Sure, he's just going to try to tab it from afar, but good thing so far. No casualties in the opening run. But Pungat's basically receiving a lot of tension already.
Yep, Smokey out in the open. Still goes in for a couple of grenades perhaps from the airdrop. Jump's going to back him up and Pew goes down. Unfortunately, he gets stuck between two players from the side of attack all around who are playing the 2-2 format that we did talk about.
Yeah, and I love that how attack all around have been able to do a double stack with those dualies that they've loaded in hand, so they can basically spam as much as they want, but Jump, he's in danger right now.
Oh, Ma'al, once again, the damage dealer. Ambot gets taken down, leaving Ma'al as the one and only final player. 1v3, Ma'al gets overwhelmed, and it's attack all around that pushes through with the first victory of the day.
Yeah, just like what their name mentions, their attack was basically wrapping all around members of Morph Team. But look at how we actually kick off our week 2. We're just getting difficult terrains to kick things off with. Yeah. And I guess this is just going to be a little bit more tactical when they do get to go on those full purchases. But everybody's on the revolver, man. I can't wait to see if Morph Team is going to change the tempo.
This is such a smart play from attack all around, just going for the double revolvers, knowing that they don't have any heavy firepower to deal with in terms of Team Morph. So therefore, they get to put a little bit more towards their resources, like their glue walls as well as grenades. That's really going to give them the swinging advantage against Morph Team, who pretty much are broke in the second round because they can't buy much.
Yeah, and that's where you really have to look at these investments and make it worthwhile hitting into this round itself. So it's going to be expensive, and Jump makes them pay.
Yep, Jump with a very quick flank around and instant execution against Pew. That headshot was contributory to that quick knock there. Koja goes down as well. Foki snaps on up, and Jump manages to flank around with that distraction, and such a quick execution from Attack All Around.
Yeah, and we didn't really expect this to be the case with Attack All Around, even when they are actually matched with the same form of weaponry. Now, trouble definitely looms for some of these members of Morph Team, but they're still investing a little bit more on Koja as well as Ma'al. So Ambot at least has an SMG to work with for the time being. So I think like their chances here are looking a little bit better heading into round 3.
It's a forced round. I'm not so sure exactly how comfortable I am with this. Ma'al's running no armor whatsoever. He has the sniper though. So one shot down is absolutely needed from Ma'al. He tries to back away. Ambot gets tagged up. Poongod as well. A quick grenade toss. Manages to connect. Ambot goes down. Jump finds Ma'al. And that's about it. The forced round does not work out in the way of Morph Team.
Man, Morph Team's not even getting anything at all throughout these past few rounds. It was Ma'al that actually finds one knock, but it's a clean sweep heading into round 3.
And that round 3 might have just cost Morph Team an extra round in round 4 as well, right? If they did not force it, they would have enough to perhaps beat themselves up with some good armor here. So let's see if or not they can wiggle their way out of this one. They're starting it off. The advantage to Attack All Around. Morph Team desperately needs to pull off a miracle round.
Yeah, and we're looking at how sharp AAA has been throughout the course of 3 games. Like, in an instant, they're basically striking down different targets at once where, you know, we basically can't cover everything, but that opening shot onto Pew, it's definitely gonna hurt.
And that definitely hurts, man. You're forcing Pew to use up his medkit very early on, and a glue wall out of Pew as well. The flank around is not going to be possible for Attack All Around as Ma'al holds the back line. Jump gets caught by Ambot. What a charge buster shot. Nobody's going to save Jump just yet. Ma'al goes for the cover. Koja catches Jump. And that's going all the way to the side of Morph.
I absolutely do love the way that they're playing, and they're bringing this fight up close and personal down to Poongod as well as Kororo, but they really have to find a way to puncture through the rest of Morph Team. They had that pinch of an idea that this circle is going to shrink all the way to the middle, and that's where you see the rest of Morph took control initially. Now there's only 2 more left. The rest of Morph Team cannot rest on it all.
Poongod, Kororo turning the tides. Ambot, final player, charge buster in hand. This still could swing the way of Indonesia. Ambot can barely do anything in that final engagement, a 1v2. And the mechanical skills of Attack All Around just a little overwhelming for the Indonesians at the moment.
They're just looking so sharp. And I would give them effort for basically bringing it into a 2 versus 2 by the very end of it all, because that was a huge deficit that they really have to catch up on. But we start to see a little bit more aggression coming in from Morph, so that is a good sign. But now we're taking it to Catalyst to us, so a little bit more open ground, something that's a lot more familiar for the rest of Morph to be able to play this one out. I believe they will definitely have to single out certain targets before they go on a full squad strike. So Miles going to be going on the snipes, while Jump is going to be lurking around, trying to look for those angles against him.
Oh, yeah. Pew needs to stop getting tagged so early in these rounds, man. I mean, he's just getting a little too heavy to carry. And as I say that, Kororo puts a quick end to him.
Every single shot actually connected.
Yeah.
My goodness, Kororo, what did he have for breakfast today? And it's already dinner time, and they're basically eating up more for lunch and dinner.
That's it, man. That's it. I mean, how do you come back from such a devastating round? Ma'al and Koja still standing on the ground goes Ma'al, and Koja just a sliver of health left. Poongod finishes him off. What a headshot.
Yeah, didn't seem like Morph Team was really prepared for what's about to come. And, you know, we were talking about how well Jump has been playing for the course of the past week.
Yep.
Look at this. Punga has not dropped a single time throughout the match.
And this is with extra Andrew buffs coming through for every single player. Extra layer of armor, meaning absolutely nothing for attack all around to deal with. And, you know, that can be assessed very easily. The first few rounds, Morph team just did not have actual armor on the battlefield because they just wasted their resources thinking that they wanted to force their way through. That's just not the way. You have to anticipate heavy firepower from the Thais.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a little bit of an overestimation of what their enemies have been capable of. Now, Jump has got to work around these walls, but there are a couple of angles being covered by the Morph team. Over and back, Jump did match to negate some damage with the glue walls, but how long can he buy?
Oh God, slows things down. The grenade, is it going to connect? Koja does not receive. What a glue wall. Ambot blocks off a little bit of the damage potential for the grenade. Ambot now circling around. Kororo's going to get caught outside. I believe the information sent already. Pew, grenade for the delivery, but the wall blocks that off.
Yeah, it didn't really have a clean bounce into the opening of the doors. Pungat's going to break the glue wall, and that's two members of Morph team waiting for him. Ooh, it's got to be careful. Here we go. Ice grenade to flush them off.
Ambot hops right back in through the ice grenade. Gets slowed down. What is he even doing? Pungat.
It's a setup.
Catches him. That's just an unfortunate mistake coming through.
And now they're also getting flank coming in from Maal as well. Triple A might have actually a bit too much more than they could chew. Slowly getting withered down by the rest of Morph team, who has a lot more walls for protection.
Koja goes down. Pew finds one onto Jump. Can they circle around though? Kororo says hell no. Gets a triple.
And just like that,
My goodness.
attack all around secures your first booyah out of 5.
I mean, in such an overwhelming way, right? 6-0. Morph team had nothing on them. I mean, once again, there were a couple of mistakes with the purchases. I absolutely understand. But, you know, just they stood no chance in those engagements. I think throughout the whole match, through the 6 rounds, we had 3 kills coming through from the side of Morph in total.
Yeah, and I think that it has definitely been proven that you cannot run directly at attack all around.
Oh, yeah.
They've tried it multiple times, and none of them have been able to land much damage overall. But what can I say? This is absolutely a statement coming out of attack all around. We're the best in Thailand.
I mean, sometimes, you know, you kind of have your good days. Sometimes you have your bad days. This is Morph team's bad day, and it just coincides with attack all around's great day. You know, there's just nothing going wrong for the side of attack all around. We saw how amazing they were with the connections, with the aim. You know, this was pretty much the one good round from Morph where they forced a 2v2. But even then, look at us hyping up a 2v2.
Yeah, and this is as close as it gets, right?
Yeah.
Like, even so, you see that the entire squad of AAA has full intel gathering onto Morph team at every single moment. Sure, we see a lot of flashy plays coming from Pungat to rake in those numbers, but essentially it was everybody doing heavy lifting from front to back.
Absolutely, man. Of course, there's just nothing that they had on Pungat. Surprisingly, we don't see Kororo here, but Pungat pretty much snatching it away with the 9 eliminations through 3,264 damage. The A124, the disabler in those close quarters combat, and in Clash Squad, everything's a close quarter combat!
Yeah, like, you're just basically allowing her to activate her free spell, so I would say Pungat definitely has everything down to the timing down that, you see, it's a 6-0.
Yeah.
And half of that duration, it's a 56% hit shot rate. We're not even looking at Kororo, where every bullet that he lands with that sniper has actually hit as well.
I mean,
ridiculous.
How ridiculous is that, right? A 56% headshot rate. Yes, we know there's a little bit of aim assist in Free Fire, but that is cracked, man. I mean, because at pro level, your opponents are constantly moving. Even when they're standing in one spot, they are on the prone, they're trying to go round and round, trying to make sure their hit's just not in the same spot all the time. And through all that, pew,
One shot and never miss.
The absolute, I mean, and not just him, right? Kororo, we saw a couple of his plays as well. The guy was just accurate as hell. And that's the kind of mechanical skills that Morph Team needs to go up against. Attack all around is way too good in the game of Free Fire.
Yeah, I would also say that they also do have so many days to prepare for this. And Attack All Around basically did all their homework right, because every strike that they basically landed, the way that they prepared for some of these attacks, I think they've been able to understand very, very well what Morph Team really had in plan from the prior rounds that they played against other teams, where I would say like around the fight, around round 4 or round 5 or so, when they were pushing upwards, we think that, hey, maybe this is going to be pretty bad for them, but hey, they managed to win out every fight absolutely cleanly.
Morph Team does not know exactly what hit them. It's a truck called Attack All Around. They may try to run, but they cannot hide because this is just open lands and this truck is mobile.
Yeah, definitely a worrying sign to kickstart the run for the Indonesian Titans. But hey, some may actually say, relax, Joe. It's just the first round.
Dude, I love that guy's thing. Look at that rep.
Oh, man. He's definitely pretty stern on all these players.
I would not cheat if that was the ref standing behind me.
Yeah.
I would not breathe if that ref was standing behind me.
I will be more nervous on the stage when he's standing behind me. But that's for sure.
The boys are nervous. They feel like they have to perform. If not, the ref's gonna beat them up.
Yeah. But overall, you look at every member of Attack All Around, they just basically got their win. Like, they're absolutely chilling, man. Like, all they have to do is just keep their eyes on the prize. And at the very least, for those who are currently still here representing their nations here in the C Cup Clash Squad, they'll at least walk away with a couple $1,000s. But we're eyeing for that sweet 20K for the champion.
Yes, sir, and we're eyeing for a little bit more, and the little bit more is a little bit of respect for some of these other regions here, okay? Morph Team's fighting not just for their lives, Morph Team's fighting for the reputation of the whole of Indonesia, Morph Team's fighting for the reputation of every other server against Thailand, who has just been absolutely whooping everybody from day number 1. Something needs to change. Morph Team's gonna change it if they can win a couple of games.
Hopefully they'll be pretty much wide awake right now after that brutal blow coming in from Attack All Around. It was a 6-0 finish, but is this going to be a repeat coming in from the Thai squad? Or can Morph bounce back to find themselves a point to equalize?
It's going to be a repeat if you ask Morph Team. It's going to be a 6-0 again, but this time they'll be dealing the 6. Let's see if not. Things can happen here at Next Terra as we hop on into game number 2. We hope you've got your snacks. We hope you've got your drinks. It's gonna be a long, long day. Morph Team's gonna push this all the way to game number 5. For the sake of Indonesia, I hope they do.
Yeah, and now that we're moving into a very different terrain, we'll definitely have to see whether if this is gonna give any form of leads to its side of Morph Team, because on the past week, there were a few rounds that were also dropped around the map of Next Terra. I hope that perhaps heading into week 2, they've already come up with certain plans for improvisation where we're already getting all of them guns blazing.
Oh yeah, both teams rushing for the top. Pew as well as Jump reaching there pretty much at the exact same time. Koja getting aggressive. Won't find one. Pokey trades out one for himself, and Pew out of nowhere hits a double, and this has to be on the side of Morph Team. Pokey about to get picked right back up, but held to the nose, says Pew, as he nails them down.
The opening point for the Indonesian squad. And now, the hopes of getting the point will be pretty much on the right track. But looking at how explosive these two teams have started off, it was pretty interesting that both of them actually went on the same crossfire onto that same narrow bridge over on the top side. And all that was left was Kororo trying to spot another member off by the end of it around.
Understanding that high ground advantage is going to swing the momentum their way, but both teams having the exact same idea pretty much meant it was going to be a 50-50, which Morph Team proved they can most definitely win out. It's going to be about those engagements once again, and Jump needs to deliver. Earlier on, he was the first one to reach up top, but got nailed down and instantly became the carry of the team. And Piu's just gonna force this through.
Wow.
My goodness. Kororo with a good glue wall. But Piu just does not stop.
And Kuro didn't even have time to respond well enough after popping up that glue wall. So quick reaction speed coming in from Ambot overall, as well as Koja.
Yeah.
Now,
It's-
what's the next game plan here for AAA though?
Kima Al says, thank you very much. I'll see you later. But no, Boongod says, this happens now. But Piu was there to find the trade, so good engagements from the side of Morph Team overall. Ma'al and Ambot down on the ground though. Foki, don't let this be a 2v2. One quick fall to the death and Piu is gonna be all alone now. Can he find Koja? Goes in for the rescue. And Foki's not there just yet to put the final nail in the coffin. And the save is good.
Koja really has to heal up though, as much as there was a really tight gap. Pungat's definitely going to be looking for a little bit more pressure to deal upon him. Going to land those couple of blows, and Koja's down yet again.
Boongod just says thank you to the Travelator, who gives him the perfect angle
Again?
for a double.
Oh my word. He just really had to solely wait and slide, you know, like, why walk when you could basically get the machine to do all the work for you?
Yeah, I mean, dude, because you know, if you do you play mobile games Contra a lot?
Yeah, from time to time.
It's your finger, right? Like
Yeah.
especially in a FPS game on mobile, you got so many things to do. You got so many things to click. So just removing one function, i.e., walking and turning, makes a huge difference.
Indeed, and then like you just basically toggle into that right angle. Yep, just wait for the Travelator. You're set. This time, no Travelators though. They're gonna have to fight around the offices, and they're looking for the stairs.
Guy! I thought Koja was gonna get the nade, but Foki, what a god nade. Jump goes ahead to finish off Few, and this is all gonna end in a bit as Ambot and Ma'al go down. Koja, one final player alive and kicking. Does get one, but instant trade out. Morph Team goes down as attack all around pulls the game back.
My goodness, how ferocious they actually strike once they do land their hands on the upgraded weapons. Now, holding on to those ARs definitely give them maybe a little bit slight advantage as compared to that past round.
Yeah.
That also means that Morph Team finally actually goes in for buys of their own. So we'll definitely have to check out what's going to be in store since, you know, Mal finally gets to play the game with the sniper in hand.
Let's see what they go ahead and pull off this time round as Morph Team cannot afford to fall back in this best of 3. Attack all around wants a quick night. It's gonna be a quick zap around for Boongod. He's already flanked around, but Ma'al's gonna be holding the back lines, which means Boongod is not gonna go crazy just yet. Foki keeping a good line alongside Jump. And Ma'al keeping an eye. 2 players at the same time. Calls for a little bit of backup as well. Boongod eats yet another nade. Two nades in a row. Thank goodness he healed himself there.
Yeah, he's also applying a little bit more pressure to actually flush some of all these territories aside. And now AAA is looking for a target to strike down. He's going to go up close and personal against Koja, though. But this is not going to cut it with the glue wall being popped up. But he actually gets the advantage, popping heads and landing it onto Ambot.
Yep, smart play coming through, and Foki finds Koja. It's a 1-to-1 trade thus far, and Foki instant trade out by Ambot, and as I say that, Jump trades out. Ambot back and forth we go. It's a 3v2. Jump needs to be picked up. Pew all alone now. Is Koja gonna get back up on his feet? The answer is no, as Boongod finishes it off.
My goodness gracious. Ma'al purchased an AWM in that midst of that battle, and he opens up with that warning shot. It didn't seem like AAA cared about that sniper being online at all. You know what? They're going to get one of their own. You know what's better than one? Make it 2, because Kororo, he's just going to one-tap his way out of this match if he can, and he's already zooming into spawn. Sees his target, tries to land it over onto the quarters of Morph Team, but he managed to dodge it in time. So it's all about getting that zone control. We will definitely see a little bit of a ring around the rosy here in the open spaces. And Kuro, as much as he actually get those angles this time around, he's not going to be opening the shots right now. He expects more retaliation coming from Morph as they're circling through like eagles right now. He's got to make a move.
Kororo says bye-bye. Gets away in the nick of time. Tagged up, though, in his back. Good glue wall saves his life. Koja cannot reach him just yet. Kororo's going to be a little distracted. And Ma'al with a good connection onto Foki, but no finisher just yet. Poon God on the left. Ma'al spots him just in time to see a grenade as well. Ma'al's going to save that and jump. Does not eat that grenade. Pew just trying his very best here. Goes in for the finisher, but Jump sees it coming first. And a good glue wall pulled up, but Jump saves Pew. Pew goes in for the very aggressive play. But it's a good Tatsuya reaction by Jump.
And Morph Team's basically forcing them to run around these areas. There's not much spacing being left, though. Foki is trying to take control of the center, but it's a tag team that will be able to work him out. Morph Team gets the advantage. Only Jump left, tail to tail. He's only got a glue wall. Can he hold out? Not much of frags being left. He's definitely got to heal up, but the zone's closing right in. Jump has got to make a move. But only one knock is all he gets.
Yeah, Morph Team making that slow comeback. Slowly but surely, we don't care how slow it is as long as it happens. Once again, they are the hopes and dreams of every other nation who has tried to beat Thailand thus far. And unfortunately, miserably failed. The only reason why we don't have 4 Thai teams here is because one other Thai team kicked them out.
Yeah, and I guess that there is another, of course, opportunity that, you know, Morph Team could be able to claw through the low brackets as well to defeat Thai squads to get all the way back up into the grand finals. But, you know, it's still a long hurdle right now. Morph Team at least balances out some of these deficits. And they do actually take a good control over the top side.
Ooh, Jump gets tagged up by the nade. Pew can go in for the finisher, but look at those blue walls. Jump does not pull up just enough to stop all of that attack. Pew does manage to go for a double tag. Kororo shows up, but he's going to finish off the player that he does manage to take down first, and then quickly backs away for a good defensive round. And repositions fighting Pew. Poon God as well. What in the world was that?
A little bit of a happenstance where Poon got turned his back. And Morph, they took absolute control of the vantage point up top. A jump shot coming in from Ambot. That will definitely take Foki out. We do have intel onto Kororo. And one tap coming from Maul to secure the round. And we are in for that series that we're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
3 apiece.
I mean, let's go, man. Morph Team's finally waking up. Earlier, it was just an all-out attack all around. Smash. And, you know, we saw a couple of mistakes being made by Morph as well with the prioritization on purchases. This time, since they won that initial round, they had the advantage, and they've been using that advantage to a decent perspective thus far. And at this stage, this many rounds in, you're not going to be forced into a situation where you're too broke for a certain round. So it's all equal out there.
True enough, and when we look into how Morph has been able to always look for ways to come back from deficits like the past week, definitely have impressed all the audience across Southeast Asia and perhaps the world as well. Now, this is definitely going to be a little bit tricky as they are working across the towers. A little bit of a positioning of a 2-2 split coming in for Morph Team to take control of the center, whereas AAA, they want to take it slow, and they will definitely have a widespread wing, taking very different angles on each members.
Oh, and here comes the flank. Jump's going to be pushing up first. And in the meantime, a grenade in the hands of another player on the side of attack all around. Just waiting for the cue to go in for the toss. Jump is going to get tagged up. Poon God's going to release that grenade. Ma'al is not going to be flinching at all, but throws a nice grenade towards his left as well to force a reposition by Koja. In the meantime, Ambot moves on in a little bit closer towards Poon God. Kororo shows up, and Ambot tags him up. Doesn't get the takedown and quickly turns things around. What in the world does Kororo eat?
Yeah, I really do wonder if maybe we should go to Thailand to actually figure it out. And man, perhaps it's a little bit serving of street food because they're battling like this is the street. And Koja, he's unleashing the shotgun shells all over the place. Won't be able to find Poon God just yet. And they're chasing him right through.
Whoa.
And now it's only down to Koja.
Koja! What a shot, Ja! Kororo goes down. Jump now, the final player, very low on HP. The advantage to Koja. And Jump does not flinch. Finishes off Koja as he's taking that pump on the charge buster. My
Jump.
God.
He's just a split second faster. And look at him go. So composed. Even though he's behind a wall, he wasn't basically shifting all around in order to dodge any form of shots. He's waiting for Morph Team, knowing that he's just going to hop right out. So great read coming from attack all around. That was the closest that we've actually seen them go till it's actually 1-versus-1 battle. But we basically take it another round, same plays, perhaps a different result.
But, unacceptable from Koja because this is one of those very few times on the pro scene that I see a charge buster losing out to the AUG. And granted, the charge buster, Poon God.
Not the kind of nade that you want to see here in week 2, especially with the stakes so high. And the tackle around, they are getting a little bit more of an elevated view. Whereas Morph, you do have a little bit of an idea, especially now with the UAV on top, but not that it matters right now being popped as they're chasing on the Jump.
It's going to be a Poon God suffering a tag. Backs away, Ma'al spotted by Jump. Has got the angle, but that's behind the glue wall. And the timing's perfect. As soon as he sees Ma'al moving, goes out for the shutdown. But it's a 3v2. Jump and Kororo. Can they once again find the clutch against Morph Team? It's all about the positioning, but Jump is going to be forced out of his defenses by a good ice grenade from Koja.
Great frags being tossed out, but Koja, he definitely has a little bit more predicament with so many glue walls blocking all these terrains, but this is basically being set up in order to force AAA to go through layers and layers before they move into this safety zone. Now, 2-man tag teams onto Ambud, and he actually finds the angle. Glue wall being popped up. He's on the hunt, and he will land the blow onto Jump. And that's one member down. Orion being popped as well. Koja has to do it all alone. Can he do it? Kororo, last man standing. And Morph Team, they're still finding it hard to take him down.
Kororo still managing to take out Pew in all of that chaos and drops yet another. Orion popped down again. Can he find the timing? Ambot! 1v3! And Ambot saves the day. My goodness, Kororo almost did the impossible.
And Morph Team has got back at them. You say, hey, you think you're the king of 1-versus-1s? We'll show you who's boss. Ambot is here to step up for Indonesia. Oh boy. We're definitely going neck and neck from here on.
Oh yeah.
Morph Team has definitely shown their fangs on this one.
I mean, I am hoping and praying that they get through this torture because attack all around is still such a pain in the side. Oh God, good grenade can end Morph Team real quick, and it's a well-aimed one. He spots the players first, but those glue walls are going to be keeping them in. Jump! Bye-bye, sir! Oh! Grenade! Does not connect, but it's the ice grenade that puts a quick end to him. Well played by Morph Team. It's going to be Pew. Really low on that HP as well. Circles around. Attack all around. Does not have an angle to work with, and Morph Team gets away with their lives.
And they're also being turtled in this wall. Great utility usage from both ends. And it was Jump that actually suffered the blow. That's definitely going to put a dent onto the artillery. But speaking of artillery, Mal, Kororo, each landing a blow with the AWM. And on the back, Poon got spots Mal approaching near. Bring it down to 40%. Now it's breaking the wall as well. Still on the target. He's not going to let him lose. And Pew's down.
Poon God and Kororo. Kororo really low on that HP, and Ambot puts a quick end to him. But it's a 1v3 for Poon God. Can attack all around pull off a miraculous round. Poon God just does not have a sniper to make that possible. This SMG is not a miracle worker. Ice grenades not going to do him much. But come on, Poon God still finding Ma'al? That is insane. Poon God doesn't have a grenade to work around with. Those players are going to recover too quickly for him.
Yeah, those quick revives coming right through. And the push is on. Double glue walls here to hold for the time being. And Poon, he is outfought. And this is a little bit too much of an ass. 1-versus-3. And Morph Team finally finds the lead and are on that point.
Whew. My goodness, I'm breaking a sweat on this match for sure. Attack all around. Could just force us into a round number 11 and pull that miraculous comeback. But Morph team could also dig deep and stay alive in the competition, at least in this dodge towards the upper bracket. But this is a long journey for them. They need to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, and at the same time, AAA are also on the weapon deficit when it comes down to economy. Majority of them going on SMGs. So they will definitely have to take those fights close quarter, which is what Morph Team desires. When Morph Team, after that massive back-to-back round, they've been stacked up with a whole lot of cash, but they definitely can't let this round slide. You see, the pacing is being a little bit slower than usual, as they do know what the stakes are this time around. Kuroro knows that there's going to be one member on the other corner, but won't be able to spot Ma'al just yet. But he does see Zambot. He's going to take his time, and while he does that, Ma'al finds his footing and gets the knock.
Give me a break, man. Kuroro right back on his feet. The finisher doesn't come through for the side of Morph just yet, but Pew going a little crazy. Going in for the chase onto Pokey as well, but he bites off more than he can chew. Pew, Pokey shows up. Pew does manage to get the trade, though. They find each other.
And this is where Jump really has to protect himself. 2 members cutting across. Jump! He's gonna shred them to pieces! And Ambon managed to save the day just by an inch. Mal still out in the open, needing to deal with the rest of them. And Poon God's already out. Morph Team finds their opening in order to equalize for Indonesia.
This is great, but it also shows us the weakness of Indonesia in 2 ways. The weakness of Morph Team, to be very specific. First of all, in Bermuda, they just could not get positional advantage at all, no matter what they tried. And they seemed like they were still pretty cold, right? All of those fingers weren't stretched out just yet. And a couple of unfortunate mistakes made them instantly give up hope. In game number 2, you saw the fight all the way to the end.
Yeah, and we're also looking at Morph Team gradually improvising in order to take a lot more spacing heading into these matches here in Terra. So far, I'm liking the pace of how they've just been running at them, not letting any form of room for attack all around to precisely strike them with any form of ticket at all. But this is as close as it gets, 6-4.
It's just insane to think that Morph Team pulled this one out of nowhere. And there were a couple of those rounds where we were just looking for some desperate clutches, and Ma'al did manage to show up, but this time it was just not a Ma'al show, right? Everybody from the side of Morph Team stepped it up.
Yeah, and I definitely have to give kudos to both Ambot as well as Pew, as they have been able to always be there to cover each other's back at the very same time. And we saw some really huge 1v1 clutches that's coming out from both ends of the spectrum. Ambot, I think the moment that he actually land that final 1v1 win, they know that this chance is for them to take.
Like you said, right, Pew and Kocha. 2 of these guys made sure the team stayed alive, but, you know, Kuroro kept their hearts kind of thumping quite a number of times in those rounds. Just refusing to go down. Even this one, forcing that 1v1 from a 3v1. Ambot super low. Kuroro had more health, and Ambot found that miraculous finisher. And there's just nothing else they could have asked better for this. Pew with the 9 eliminations, 4,797 damage, 44% headshot rate. Can't undo his competitor from the first one just yet, but he is trying.
Yeah, I think like Morph Team, they're definitely onto something right now. Game 1 definitely was a snooze fest where, you know, they did manage to secure any form of point. Yeah. But they finally realized, hey, there was one step that they were missing out on. The round 4 buys, right? Yeah. On the very first round, first matchup, we see them force buying on most cases and actually lost out with those trades.
Yes.
Once they actually adjust that, the tempo has definitely been stabilized from then onwards, and Morph Team has been able to actually get themselves back into shape.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, from your assessment, Contra, I think it's very obvious what Morph Team needs in this next game. If they want to keep the pacing up high, they want to push attack all around back a tad bit, they have to win the pistol round. Because once they go down there, that's what's forcing those mistakes. That's what's forcing the forced buys where they feel like, things are getting out of hand a little bit. But if they can get a little bit of cash early on in the game, perhaps be able to deal with the attacking power, the mechanical skills of attack all around through the upgraded guns initially, it might just be what it takes.
Yeah, and I guess like overall for the past couple of all these opening rounds, when it comes down to pistols, it's all about precision, and we've always seen attack all around, and the rest of the Thai squads who always been aiming for headshots and headshots only.
Yeah.
So they definitely have to sharpen up on that aim in order to do so.
Yeah.
So other than that, perhaps they could definitely take a different approach, which their usual playstyle was you're going for that burst of speed, trying to take close quarter fights, which is always a 50-50. You can basically trade out with one, but can you actually get more than one is always the question.
This is, of course, the assumption that it was mainly the guns as well as whatever resources were available to them that made the world of difference. We also have another assessment, which it could just be a map weakness. It could just be Bermuda being the issue here for Morph Team going up against Attack All Around. And if Attack All Around can prove that yet again, they're going to be in trouble, because even if this gets pushed into a game number 5, there's 3 Bermudas, 2 next Terras.
Yeah, and it definitely is pretty interesting, or it could be any other thing as well. Like maybe it's a psychological warfare that they're playing. Like, oh, well, game 1, we're just gonna read what they're gonna do, and then okay, we'll throw a couple of rounds because it's a best of 5. We got the long haul of a marathon to run.
That's true.
So get a little bit of an idea, and then round 2, start smacking, which is what they did.
I mean, for the sake of Indonesia, I hope you have the nail hit right on the head there, because that would really show lots of confidence out of Morph Team, right? To be able to throw a couple of rounds. Of course, you risk a game, but that's what they were willing to do in order to kind of catch Attack All Around off guard here. If that is going to be something they can pull off, I'm very excited for the C Cup, because we've got some serious challenge for the Thai teams here.
And I definitely do think Morph Team has what it takes to be able to match up to Attack All Around. And as a matter of fact, of course, they just did. We saw the stats. They too are some of the best in Southeast Asia. A match made in heaven, some may say, between Thailand versus Indonesia. And now we finally get to tell the tale yet again as we move into our third matchup. This time back in Bermuda, where Attack All Around has already gotten the upper hand. And Morph take one back.
The last time we stepped on into Bermuda between these two, it was a 6-0, baby. Attack All Around, smashing Morph Team down to the ground. This time around, it's time to see if or not the Indonesians can rise and scream booyah on Bermuda. Let's see exactly what happens in game number 3. We are 1 apiece thus far in this best out of 5. We've got a guaranteed game number 4, but do we go all the way?
I do hope we actually get a lot of action coming in from both ends. Whoever wins, I just want to see a good game where Pew this time definitely switches things up.
Yeah.
Being the initiator to kick off this fight, but they are definitely holding back as Attack All Around controls center stage, but that doesn't mean much with damage done.
Pew now just going in for a quick rush, and that risk is well managed. It's gonna send that grenade right towards Jump, and a huge tag. No finisher just yet. Pushes on in. Poongod finds Ambot, as Ambot does manage to finish off Jump. No finisher coming on through, as that pickup is absolutely sound. They drop the beat. Jump gets back up on his feet. Goja trying to find a retrieval here once Pew gets knocked down onto the ground. Nobody's picking him up just yet, and all of the risk taken by Pew just turns into nothing because the rest of the members from the side of Morph were just a little too far.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have the angles to work with. Now with Koja also overlooking the staircase, this is where Jump strikes the target down and takes over control of the center.
And you have to love the speed of response from the side of Attack All Around. When they find a knock, they find that instant finisher. Speaking of instant, that round came to a very quick end. The moment Attack All Around found a little bit of control inside that compound, that center compound, that Morph Team pretty much thought they had control of, sending Pew to guard that middle. That was just insane what Attack All Around just pulled off.
Yeah, great control coming in from both ends as well. We saw they zone each other out using those frag grenades, and attack all around. They were absolutely battered, well, they're hiding indoors, and Morph Team thinks that this is going to be the best opportunity to strike, but with that maneuvering coming from Pungat, man, that's Chef's kiss. But we're moving into the round. Pew! Immediately getting jumped on.
Nobody's jumping off of him just yet, and Jump is the one doing all of the hopping. Ma'al's gonna get caught off as well, and Jump is once again the final finisher. Gets a triple. Can he get the ace as well? Come on, you gotta give this off to Jump, but Pungat says no.
He's gonna deny it all the way through. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna continue my MVP streak if I can. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And this is turning out to be a confirmation at this point that Morph Team's just not very comfortable on Bermuda, especially against attack all around. It could just be, once again, a double effect, right? Morph Team's not that comfortable, attack all around, super comfy on Bermuda.
And I definitely would say so with myself, where attack all around, when they move into the game, and every single territory, they already know where exactly to strike and where to look out for, so they should expect some shots coming through. The trades almost coming into effect. Well, there is not coming from Pungat onto Pew.
Yep, and the save is gonna be prevented as well. Ambot turns around, shoots down Jump. Foki gets a nade out of nowhere, tossed towards Ambot. Two players down on the ground, instant finisher. Jump God as well, will kind of hop on in there. Ma'al finds Pungat, puts down the final player. Ma'al circles around. Can he find one out of nowhere? Kororo goes down. It's the foot that's hit. And unfortunately for Ma'al, even he could not pull a miraculous round for the side of Morph.
That definitely does sting. It really felt like they were in a boxing ring when they were inside of the warehouse, and AAA cornered down Morph Team where they don't really have a place to even run or hide. They cannot afford to let that happen again. Thankfully, we're going to go on an open spacing over on the corners of Capitalista. Well, it's all about taking a little bit more of that control across those ledges by the edge.
Yep.
And we'll see, can Jump actually be speedy enough to catch onto Ma'al? He's already got the AWM up in the ready. And he should be able to quickly zoom into that territory. So the rest of AAA wants to hold back, but that's a huge nade. Oh, it lands!
Goes in for the finisher instantly, takes that backstab, and Ambot cannot do much at all. Can he put the finisher onto Pungat? Does manage to take a lip. Pungat turns around, and it's the charge buster in the hands of Koja, and Pungat allows him to do absolutely nothing with it.
This guy's a mad lad. He just keeps going.
My
But
God.
Kororo, double headshot to seal the deal.
Dude, attack all around clearly plays a lot of Clash Squad, and they sure as hell love Bermuda compounds. Every single compound, the attack as well as the control of the map in itself has to be on the side of attack all around. Morph Team's not been able to do much. In fact, they haven't even been able to position themselves yet.
Not at all. Like, when we take a look at how AAA executes that specific angle, it's just pretty dire for the rest of Morph Team to be able to do much, as they were hoping to actually cut across through the middle, but they're running on open ground. Speaking of which, Jump, he's got to pop those glue walls early, but Al's going to keep pretty much looked at.
Yeah.
Now, this is definitely a precarious situation for AAA. They can't exactly get that access to the building unless if they push through, but look at the zone control.
Yeah.
Kororo, he's got to move in as well. Now, this is the white flank onto Baal. Glue all in time. Save the day.
Oh, Ma'al spots out Kororo. Kororo doesn't get the shot first. Very quick fingers from the side of Ma'al, but he's super low on that HP already. Ma'al trying to run away, but Jump finds him either way. Both angles of the glue wall covered by the players on the side of attack all around. Foki gonna get Koja as well. Pungat backing him up. All the players from the side of attack all around. Attacking from all around. Pew can't do much, but just go in for a mad spray. Gets nothing. And how the hell do you pull that off, Pungat? That's just insane. That's sick. 5-0. Once again looking for the 6-0.
He is looking invincible today, and that's why he is one of the gods of Free Fire, I must say.
Wow. I mean, this confirms two things. Number one, Morph Team really can't do much when they lose that initial pistol round. Number two, Attack all around is super on Bermuda and Morph Team's 0, literally.
Yeah, once again, going back into the buy round for Morph Team, it didn't seem like they could have actually gotten much out of that. And
Yeah.
that's really saddening as well because they have ample of all those opportunities, but they're not really pressing on. They're getting pinched this time around with a couple of nades being tossed towards their end by Jump. Just look how fast Jump cuts across the map. He's going to take this closely.
I mean, that was the biggest of difference in the previous round as well. Attack all around had so many grenades, so many ice grenades to work around with. Morph Team pretty much had nothing. They were so strapped for cash, they had to just focus on buying armor as well as their weapons. Not really much of those utilities or lethals. Pew surviving somehow. The attack from the back pushes him into a corner. Charge Buster still in the hands of Pew, but he's trapped. He can't do much. Finally shows up, gets tagged up by Jump, and Pew still goes down.
Pew, this guy, he was hoping to hold him off, but this is only Mile left. 1 point is all it takes, and he goes for the foot. Attack all around. Another clean sweep in Bermuda.
Hitting under the belt. Not what you think. He got his foot. Attack all around. What a play. 6-0-ing. Morph Team on Bermuda again. Again.
I couldn't believe it. I'm absolutely baffled. I guess it is as straightforward as you say, AJ. Attack all around. Could basically rinse and repeat Bermuda and just absolutely annihilates Morph Team from doing anything here. An excellent booyah. 2 in a row on the same map. But now, moving into next Terra, they have not overcome this against Morph, so I wonder, is this a buildup of momentum that will shift towards their way, or Morph Team's just gonna say, nah, we still got this next Terra to our hands?
I just feel like Attack All Around has run Bermuda on simulation 3 million times already and executed perfection after perfection after perfection of initially controlling the map, and we have seen how they fan out on the map so beautifully to take full control, to not allow their opponents to do much, especially Morph Team throughout this whole game thus far. In the 2 matches we've had at Bermuda, it was just all out zoning them into a small little compound and then just shutting them down round after round. Kororo controlling the outside, Jump, Foki, Bone God all going in for the rush towards the inside. Morph Team just had nothing on them, man.
Yeah, and I really want to see where exactly is the flank setup coming in from Morph, where every single time that AAA goes in the game, it's all about taking positioning first, and then we settle the scores later on when you actually do come up close and personal. And I think like AAA, they have actually expected Morph Team to execute the way that they did, bring those fights up close, and then hoping that these trades actually do favor either Ambot or even Ma'al, but they can't just basically go on with the same plan over and over again. And here goes, Kororo finally takes the MVP title this time.
And Attack All Around showing that, you know, they're not focused on getting extra bits of information on your positioning. They are more of a team that responds when danger shows up, right? And they are very aware of their surroundings at all points, that they don't really need an active or a passive skill to reveal the positions of their opponents. Yes, you've got the Moko, but that's only after he's spotted by Kororo, as well as Kororo takes that shot. If that shot connects, then you get that information out of Moko. That's insane to think about how maybe positioning or the revelation of your position could be a disadvantage to you in any way whatsoever. Attack All Around's like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll just finish you when I see you.
And that's exactly what really went down on Bermuda. Like, no holds barred, and I guess right now, there's only few chances left, and with the scores being 2-1, it also does mean that Attack All Around is on match point for the entire series.
I cannot. Okay, the saving grace here for Morph Team, we're going back into next Terra. But it's looking very bad. Once again, like I said, even if we do get into a game number 5, the sheer map dominance on Bermuda from the side of Attack All Around makes this a no-go for Morph Team. So they need to pull off not just a miracle in next era once again, because it was close at the end of the day. It was a 6-4 the last time we went on there. They also have to do the impossible on Bermuda.
Yeah, and overall, when we look into this specific matchup, where we've seen these two squads collide in these two different maps,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it was exactly the cleanest of the ways that Morph Team had executed inside of Terra. They won that pistol round on a very small margin, but even so, they got to do it all over again, which is definitely going to be a daunting task, because 1 point shy, they will be moving down into that lower brackets. Hey, at least that's a little bit of cushioning, right? But down on that hole, you're going to be either E-Arena or even worse, Nick Magaxi. I don't even know. Who do you pick? Like, you don't have choices.
Yeah.
Like, you got to win every fight from your on-Morph team.
You know, the one saving grace here is, at no point do you have to fear meeting Buriram X Evos.
Oh,
the
yeah.
two-time world champ. You know, but no matter where you turn, you're just surrounded by Thais. You're just absolutely surrounded by the Thai squads, and it's just a no-escape situation for Morph Team. The best they can do for themselves is to deal with the lesser of them, which is basically stay in the upper bracket. They have to overcome the most impossible fight out of attack all around as we head on into next era, as well as Bermuda right after this, ladies and gentlemen, boys. Scoreline 2-1, and that puts the Thai team of attack all around on series point. If they can win out another game against Morph Team, this first game is all over.
Perhaps this may just be the final series between these two squads. And perhaps they might be bound to meet again as well. Morph Team, in order to deny it, needs to win a total of, well, I'm trying to calculate with my fingers, you know, 12 points. Because you gotta push it into game 5 in that sense. But of course, we kick things off slow with those pistols. As Pungat, he's already found that opening. Ambot instead knocks jump down.
Yep, that's a good play by Ambot. He does manage to find the tags onto Poongod as well. No finisher just yet. Ambot shows up yet again. Poongod finds a recovery. Ambot, what a play! Flies into the air. Koja hits a double as Ambot finds the initial tags. And this time, it's Morph Team running circles around, attack all around. And that's what you want for the Indonesians, so that they win out the pistol round and find those resources first.
Wow, that has been the cleanest one out of Morph so far. I'm absolutely impressed, because the moment that they control of the upper grounds inside of the hallways, it's just hard for the rest of AAA to even react into cracking those defenses. We did see Pungat did try to go in for those numbers. And once again, does this scene remind you of anything? The Travelator. Oh. Morph's got to be careful about that again.
Yeah, man. I think attack all around is just waiting to get to that first floor. But first, they got to fight this off on the second one. Let's see if or not this force buy out of Koja is going to serve him well at all. He does not get a single armor for himself, which means a good headshot out of the double revolvers from the side of attack all around can put him instantly down on the ground. Morph Team taking a huge risk. And instead, Ma'al goes for the power foul. Koja is going to try to find the stacks from across the battlefield as well. This compound not very huge to play around with.
Not going to be able to actually have much space later on. It's about to actually shrink right in. I guess the major difference here is that Ma'al actually comes in with heavy purchases alongside with Koja. So you can definitely see why AAA is going to be looking for those one-tap opportunities. Maybe from there, All Hell might actually break loose. The trades coming out, and Ma'al does find Pungat.
Ma'al makes his purchase worth every single cent. Jump trying his best to survive. Ambot turns his back, turns around in the nick of time. Jump pulls out a good glue wall. Ambot not going to get to him just yet, and the Travelator is going to make sure he is slowed down. And it's a perfect trick by Jump. Koja finds Garoro in the meantime. Jump goes down, and Morph Team up 2-0.
I'm baffled again. everybody got struck down at the very same time, but look at how composed they are when it comes down to close quarter combat this time around.
Yeah.
Morph team, they just basically waited for that right moment, and they know they already got that upper hand in terms of positioning, in terms of weaponry. No need for that rush. And AAA, when the timer starts ticking, that's where they were definitely on their nerves. But now, believe that there should be a couple of buy coming out of AAA, or perhaps they will go full eco so that everybody can max out the stats onto the next round. Looking at the situation, it's almost a full safe, I would say.
Morph team prioritizing the upper floor. Attack all around, like you said, pretty much on a eco, but they do get a couple of double revolvers for themselves. And it seems like they will be able to pull this off if they can find a headshot, but Jump tagged up already. Pew goes in for the finisher. Jump still surviving. What in the world's happening? Pew finally finds the end to that.
He's just like a snake. He just squeezes to every corner crack, and Pew, he walks into two members of the side of the AAA squad. And now Koja just got to watch his back. Two members out of AAA, charging right at them. Tree versus Tree, and turns it around. My goodness. It's topsy-turvy. 1 versus 1, and the round's been popped.
Ma'al buying time for himself. Pungod with the finisher and attack all around. Survives round 3.
It was just a scratch away.
Dude, they had less money. That was like an almost safe. Only one guy had the SMG, and attack all around just worked their way out of that.
Yeah, they cracked this case wide open.
They're looking for the finisher, dude. They are looking for a 3-1 scoreline in the series. And Morph team, they might start sweating if they lose another round.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't feel like a bucket right now. That was probably a towel at the very least.
Yeah.
So now the battle for a staircase is on. Rushes over the top.
Oh,
A really fun jump. And there goes the hail of grenades being lobbed right in. Folky holding through the midsections. And now charging on to Kororo.
Good glue wall pulled up yet again by Folky. Has to expand the double. Patches himself right back up as Kororo finds Ambot. Ice grenade! Not going to put him down on the ground just yet. Pungod. Good ideation. Executions just not available. And Kororo from across is continuing to torture them.
As much as Pungod is being blocked, absolutely, he still finds another angle to actually knock one more member down. Only 2 members remain for the side of Barf. They tried to take Pungod on,
Oh my.
but it does not matter at all. He's a god at close quarters and still lands a shot from downtown.
Come on. Too good, too sneaky. You gotta hate this part of the map, man. I mean, glass walls, providing good cover, but no information coverage whatsoever.
Oh boy, this is gonna look so awkward from here on. But Pungod, momentum swinging on Mr. Reliable throughout these past 2 rounds, clutching one off, and then doing it in style, securing multiple takedowns. Morph team on a little bit of deficit here, being squeezed out of the cash. They're gonna play from the lower side, but now we'll be able to beeline their way. Pew! Oh no! First one to be caught out.
They just played that so differently this time around. They knew that Morph team was going to be rushing up for that higher ground. They take control of middle, find the initial knock, slow down the pace of Morph team, and now attack all around. They have got the advantage, but Pew turns things around. Pungod manages to get a god nade out of nowhere before getting taken down, and he still plays his part.
And Folky, he does get those quick revives off, so they're back into 4. Meanwhile, nobody's picking up Pew just yet. Attack all around. They're hunting out from the lower side. He's gonna hold on.
My God!
The names are flying all over the place. Folky! He's just gonna wipe them all out.
This is just, unfortunately, the mistake of Morph and the genius of attack all around. Ma'al has to pull a god clutch from this if he wants to stay alive. A 1v3. Ma'al getting the tag onto Jump as well, forcing him away. Ambot is saved. And the numbers advantage goes right back down as Ambot gets taken out by the Orion. Ma'al very low on HP. And the finisher comes on through. Ambot, no matter how many times he stands, attack all around, gotta put him down.
Attack all around. The moment that they have Folky activated, it feels like they're just slowly torturing him down, throwing one nade after another. It's like, okay, I guess it's time for us to slowly take our turns and see who actually survives to tell the tale. And AAA, they have ample of resources left. But you see the number of duels right into that midsection there definitely was a little bit trickier for them to maneuver around. Morph still almost actually gotten that 1 versus 1 going their way, but of course they can't really cry over spilled milk in that sense.
I think it was genius for Attack All Around to stop halfway through instead of once again trying to challenge. I mean, we saw how epic it was. They met at the top side at the almost the exact same time. The last time we played next Terra, it was the exact same strategy. And Morph team getting caught with their pants down because they executed the exact same thing against Attack All Around. Dude, the Thai teams, they learn, and they learn very fast, and they remember. You know how sometimes you learn something? Yeah, you learn it at that point, and then you forget the next time you get into that situation?
Yeah.
Not Attack All Around.
Not at all. And on top of that, they have also been able to adapt on top of going for muscle memory as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while of course we focus back on track with Pew going for jump. That's one-man advantage for Morph team right now. Indonesia sees the side of but Kororo! Oh, that was a massive shot. Pew managed to block that in time.
And you can't afford to be Ma'al, man. You can't be getting taken down by a circle and putting your team at a disadvantage in a 3v3. Making the takedown onto jump absolutely useless, and Boongard cannot stand up as all three members on the side of Morph team wake up.
Wow, huge collateral right there. Morph team always finds a way to equalize in these series. So much as we've given them scrutiny for what happened back in Bermuda, they've been rocking rounds, especially on the second half of next Terra. So ball is definitely on their court right now. All these purchases cutting through. AAA did invest on Kororo, getting himself the 8 of them, but 2-member charging coming from Morph. AAA, they're actually one-upping them, sending 3 members.
Ambot eating that ice grenade. Boongard doesn't get lucky just yet. A good ice wall will be pulled up by Koja. And Boongard just proving that he is the better one. And Ambot can't do much. Finds the backstab and Boongard says hello. Bye-bye.
How does he do it? He just arrived. Boongard, he's got eyes behind his neck. And Pew, he's going to look at from the top, but he's not going to be able to fly on too much. Jump, 1 tick of health left. Morph still claws their way back up.
Morph team. That was just an absolute reckoning initially by Boongard. Ambot turning things around. Attack All Around thought they had that in the bag, but not just yet. But 3 rounds in a row, not impossible for the Thai team. But Morph team's also shown us that they know how to play next Terra.
And on top of that, how well they play these close quarter combat definitely beats me out of my mind. Because Boongard was already insane enough.
Yeah.
And yet he didn't survive to tell the tale. Morph team, they stacked up, and they're going to go with the same idea again. AAA, they're going to swap that spot. Just going to be seeing who's going to tire out first. Well, this Cypher's moving across. It didn't seem like either side will be able to get that access into the middle ground. Those snipers online. Kororo, Mal. Right now, both sides only hitting 2 so far. Relying on Boongard as well as Koja from each respective team to get those frags back.
It's all about the game of information. At this point, it could help Attack All Around a lot, but, you know, they just didn't go for a active skill setup or even a passive that gives them that bit of information. Not even a Dreki being brought in, which is insane if you ask me.
Yeah.
They could have at least had one guy run the Dreki.
Like, last week we see a bunch of Drekis being utilized.
Oh, Jump does have it this time around, though.
Yeah. It's just that we don't really see that being utilized all too often. Not really sure whether they're waiting for final few moments to clutch it, but Jump, he's in a predicament where he has to bring 2 good walls for defense.
It is going to be Boongard that shows up on that final second. M1887 Just needs one good shot. Spots Pew, doesn't have the timely attack at all. Turns around. Pew gets away in the nick of time. Good trade back on that fire. Pew almost surviving this, but Foki shows up. Pew goes down. Ambo trades out Poongod. Poongod standing right back up, but gets taken right back down, and that's all it for attack all around.
No chance being given that this is where Morph Team says, you're looking for series point, we're going to make you work hard enough, as they will reach match point to make it 5 points to close our very first best of 5.
Are we gonna get a game number 5? We find out right here, right now. Obviously, out of Morph Team, attack all around can delay the fate of their own team perhaps a little bit more in this game, but at the same time, earn themselves a quick series win.
That definitely is what they've been eyeing for, despite having those hiccups back in the early round. Now, back into 100%. Pew tries to dodge the ice grenade. Another one flying his way. He's got to make a run for it. Meanwhile, Poongod getting chipped over on the other corner, and here comes the jump shots.
What a shot by Pew. And that's instant attack. Foki can't go in for that backup at all. Poongod does manage to get picked up and instantly down back on the ground. Foki trying his best to run away, and the gravity does not help him out in the best of ways whatsoever. Kororo final player, this has to be it. Morph Team survives. Morph Team gets us back into Bermuda, but the problem is, can they survive Bermuda?
Definitely have to tell, but Kororo, he finds a little bit more of that opening.
Oi, oi.
And maybe can make this one work, but the revives were way too quick. So he will definitely have to land perhaps 3 headshots to get there.
He might. Oh,
working on it.
Pulled out in the great timing, and you know, unfortunately, if you're a sniper in this map, in this particular compound, Graph Labs means absolutely nothing, because now all the shotgunners need to do is just jump over your head and take a shot. You gotta hide behind a glue wall.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I mean, he's holding on to AWM from the past round.
Yeah.
And I guess he had to make do, and he was confident enough to get some damage done, but not while everybody's flying all across the map. Absolutely difficult, but Morph Team, they bounce back, and they bounce back strong. Now we're going in for that full series. And now, all of a sudden, it's basically best of 1 between either squads.
It's sudden death, baby. Attack all around. Could not finish off Morph Team as quickly as they initially wanted to. But this does not look like it's on the side of Indonesia at all. Morph Team has shown time and time again that they have struggled on Bermuda against Attack All Around. And Attack All Around have shown that they are absolutely flawless on the map. So it's all going to come down to an advantage to the side of the Thai team of Attack All Around.
I think in this form of the series, we should witness a lot of clutch plays happen yet again from the hands of Poongod for most part when it comes down to AAA. And then you just have Pew that has worked his magic. And we see all these close pickoffs that they had. I felt like with AAA matching up to these tempo of play that Morph wants to take those CQCs, things started to get a lot more rowdier. Than there are things that is really down to those 50-50 trades.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
And sometimes you're an aimbot out there. 9 eliminations, 3,144 damage. He brought in the Dreki. Now, I'm actually a little confused because I didn't think that they could switch out their pets when they were in the game already. Because the last time we checked on the players of the Thai squad of Attack All Around, they were all running the Beastons. But the Dreki this time round just gives them that extra layer of information. I guess they learned. I guess they learned that maybe they could gain from getting a little bit of info off of the Indonesians.
And remember, in the past week, certain teams have also tried to prioritize getting all these forms of intel and maybe take a little bit too slow. We're literally seeing the best of both worlds being offered, where you're hard on the attack and you have super snappy, precise decision-making that's been able to find success for Morph. And one of that player that have always directed the scene is definitely Ambot.
Yeah. and Ambot was pretty much keeping the pace up alongside Poongod earlier on, right? We saw how Poongod quickly went in, got those 2 knockdowns, and Ambot was the guy that kind of saved the day. He just appeared out of nowhere. That shotgun, the double barrel, was pretty much the lifesaver of the team. He turned that situation around. Initially, they were down by 2 players, and he took out 3 players back to get back, put, you know, the team of Attack All Around pretty much on the back foot, and made them just nerfed in the map of Terra, but the emphasis on Terra. When we go back to Bermuda, this is where, I mean, they've not won a single round against Attack All Around at Bermuda.
That's why I'm really, really curious, like, is this pre-planned, or did they not prep at all, or it's over-preparation of Attack All Around that they now know everything? So it's either one, members of Morph Team really got to readjust on the fly.
Correct, yeah.
Because they got to break that cycle, because that's not working at all. 2, maybe this is where they unveil that secret weapon, and out of nowhere, it's like, I know your tricks right now, and we're gonna snap back at you with a very convincing reverse sweep.
Look, it's a fact that you just can't take down these Thai teams straightforward. You need to have some sort of cheese strat. So I'm with you, Contra. I'm totally with you that it could just be the biggest fake of
Blue
all
cheese.
time. The biggest fake of all time for Morph Team, just to make Attack All Around think that they really are nothing on Bermuda, and then boom! Final game, they get it, and they move on into the upper bracket. Nothing more I would love than a unexpected twist like that. But let's be realistic. How crazy is it gonna be that Attack All Around didn't even manage to sneak a single round away?
Man, I would basically go for a haircut immediately and leave the studio if that happens. You know, don't take my word for it, because it might just be the case. Attack All Around and Morph Team fighting for that one final point. Survivors, we gotta go for this.
Morph Team fighting for their fast point on Bermuda. They gotta go for it.
Oh man, gotta cry. It's been a little. We just started the day and I'm all over the place, because this matchup is what we are all in for.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And you know, this is the opportunity for Morph Team to prove not just the fact that they can do it on Bermuda, that they can overcome Attack All Around. Indonesia is just gonna go crazy if Morph pulls this off.
Considered as the dark horses amongst the rest. And they're here to run the full race, despite having slower gallops on the initial flag up. This is where we'll definitely have to check out on those pistol rounds. Will they find that advantage, which, for most part, Attack All Around has managed to win every single trade, and Poongod gets it.
Rah! Gets taken out by a skill. Good pop by Ma'al. Finds jump as well. That's 2 for 1 thus far. Ma'al on the ground. Goja finds Smokey. Kororo, the final player. Trades out Pew. Buys himself more time. Ma'al's gonna get picked up. The game of numbers still on the side of Morph.
It's slowly faltering right now for AAA. Kororo, how much damage can he do with that soul pistol in hand? He's just going to play the waiting game right now. Going to find a little bit more room to regenerate back to 100%. Morph could basically take it as long as they want. Kororo's got to make the next move.
He pops the Orion to reposition, and I think that was a terrible idea. So he can't use it in a pinch after this. Goja waiting for the timing. Kororo doesn't make a mistake of standing by the window. Goja circles around. Kororo shows up, and that's going to be an instant finisher. He gets circled instantly.
And this is that very first point that they've managed to get in Bermuda.
That's crazy, bro. And it's a pistol round.
It's a pistol round.
They're changing their fate all in this final game. Morph Team doing
It was
a double first here.
It's a double fake. I can't believe my eyes.
Oh my lord.
I mean, all along.
That would be an epic end to this series, man. If Morph Team just manages to pull this off.
Well, they gotta make it dramatic just for everybody, huh?
I mean, you want to get there, but like I said, you want to attack all around. You want to take down a Thai team in this competition. You gotta pull out some cheese strats, man. I like this.
And this time, they're definitely coming with some pretty huge cheese going on. With full flush, 4 members charging at them.
Pew getting a little overexcited. It's going to get tagged up. And both players, oh my god, Poon got down by his kill. Initial shots, and then I believe it was Ma'al that pulled out the Orion. Orion sucked away the remaining health. And it's going to be Koja that shows up. Foki goes down. Kororo for the save, and he just can't find an angle alongside Poon God.
Great double tag team action coming in from Pew. And Poon God got to watch his back. Kororo once more.
2-0!
Oh my word.
2-0 Team Ace for Morph Team.
Are they really doing this? The reversal. It could be the case.
The biggest fake in the history of C Cup. We haven't been around that long. In the history of C Cup.
Has a nice ring to it. That's all that matters. But keep in mind, though, round 4 is where we'll definitely see that full-blown action coming out of AAA.
Oh, yeah.
But they did manage to get some purchase going on. Kororo now on that AWM.
Let's go, baby. Kororo out in the open. Maybe a glue wall to slow down the pace, and Koja goes down. That's why Kororo stepped it up. Goes in for the finisher. Nobody's going to back him up just yet, and an instant pickup. Ma'al's going to run across the field to distract them, and finds Foki! Ma'al, you monster!
As much as they did their hopes here, a lot of all these damage being done, only 2 has been knocked so far, but things are looking more dire as Morph, stranded in the open. Ambot, he's being revealed of his location. Poon God, he's just got to wait right now. They know he's just by the corner window. Some of all these deflates have already been utilized. Kororo's just going to be hugging around the corner, knowing that they don't really have to push.
No grenades to pick up, and they'll have to do it with their guns. Ice grenade can force a reposition, but that's just going to tickle Morph Team. From up on top, a good glue wall from attack all around to block out that window. So no extra bit of information from that second floor. Out of Morph Team, and they sent in a grenade from across the other.
Very, very cheeky moves. And we know that they're trying to play this cool jump. Still gets all the numbers back this time around. Yep, weapon diff. No biggie.
I mean, clinical finish from attack all around, because they just pretty much trapped Morph Team into that one small house, and blocked off one window, flushed them out the other. I mean, pretty much forcing Morph Team to the other window and then sending in an ice grenade to knock out their health, at the same time executing a rush from their lower stairs up onto their higher ground. Morph Team just did not see that coming. What a pretty much executional finish. And that pretty much can go into a little textbook of Free Fire lessons.
Yeah, it's all about tactical plays, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you really don't have to go for those direct battles where you can slowly punish them. Jump! Man, he just got tagged up for quite a part. Poon God. It's always so lethal up close. First blood. Yeah.
And you gotta hate that, man. It was the initial tag by Morph Team, and then attack all around pretty much changed the story of round 4 and finds that equalizer. They are not allowing Morph Team to run away anywhere.
I just love the gear shift coming from AAA. The immediate strikes, they're really not really giving much of that spacing over on side of Morph Team.
Yeah.
But now, playing inside a factory, there's ample of spacing. Perhaps this might just be that round that Morph could still be able to stabilize. Though they don't really have the best of weapons to go up against what AAA currently has. So I guess midsection fights is going to be looking pretty decent, but when it's coming down to long range, I think Kororo has been sharp as ever throughout the course of these past 2 rounds.
Yeah. And sharpness gonna keep him in front. They are instantly trying to put him on the ground. No sharpness for you this time. Pew with the double revolver, finding that finisher. Jump from up top, gonna tag up Koja quickly. It's gonna be the glue wall that saves his life for a tad bit, and the trade coming back towards Jump. Kororo out of the equation means Morph Team stands a good chance.
I must have actually jinxed him, and I guess the only way out is to actually throw a grenade, and you don't really have to land those bullets, but man, he was out in the open as well.
Yeah.
That is one huge target that Morph Team have now removed. Now 3 more to go. Very much doable. Mao He's gotta find something here.
You with a fantastic backstab, but he will get put onto that ground. Jump. Jumps down literally. Ice grenade gonna force his opponent out of the position, and the Tatsuya pump out a jump. Helps him quickly reposition. In the meantime, Poongod takes the distraction, puts Koja down onto the ground, finds another for himself. Instant finisher. Ambot is just a little slow to the party. Finds one, but Poongod just does it all over again. Rinse and repeat. Orion pop this time round out of Ma'al. But how long can you survive? Long enough for Jump to find the final shot.
Well, it was close enough, but I guess overall with AAA already taking majority of that section of the warehouse, it is a tad difficult for Morph team to be able to run directly in the open.
Yeah.
And it was just met with layers and layers of walls, and you're needing to deal with Poongod?
Uh-huh.
No chance.
And there's 3 rounds in a row for attack all around, and now they got money.
2 more. Perhaps this may just be what Attack All Around could find if they can find this initiation onto Pew to deny all these pressure. And he does find him though. Poongod charging right in.
Poongod charging right in, shows up first, turns around with a beautiful 180, gets the shot disconnected, forces Ambot to find a place to recover himself. Poongod doing all this on his own. Ice grenade forces 2 players to scramble apart, splitting the forces down into half as well. Poongod goes to back up Foki. Jump catching up with them. Koja forcing his way in, looking for an angle, finds none.
Just love the utility usage from both ends. The UAV is going to be giving them a little bit of a hunch of how to play out the final few moments. The Morph team, they're stacking directly into the middle. They got to be careful because it's a wraparound coming from AAA.
Let's see if they can wrap them up like a little Christmas present and send them away. Karoro, Foki, both finding 1 each for themselves. Pew holding on for his dear life. Jump, managing to get away and goes in for the finisher onto Pew. Such an aggressive play by Jump. He's low on HP. He doesn't care. Finds Koja as well. Tags him up. Jump with the reload. And Poongod out of nowhere with the final bullet. 4 rounds in a row for attack all around.
Attack all around goes to round 7. Smelling victory in the air. Momentum on their side. Morph team. Is there going to be any answers from here on? Ma'al, a couple times being outmatched. And Kogororo has cash to stack up. Double AWM, if you will. But Morph, last time they went across, have been able to actually go in for a challenge. It's time. Triple stack. They're looking for Poongod.
Yeah, they need Poongod to be taken out of the equation first. This guy's just dealing too much damage too many times. Jump, good glue wall, but traps himself in a tight little corner. Can he get out in the nick of time? Patches himself right back up first. Orion from up top. Ma'al with the CQC. Can he get away? Jump does manage to survive. Ma'al gets away with his life. Pops the Tatsuya. My God, I didn't see Karoro.
I didn't see anything. For a moment, we were looking at 1 versus 1, and it just vanished. And here we are, series point for AAA.
The dude, that's 5 rounds in a row. Can they make it 6? Can they make it a reverse sweep on the final round of series number 1 to whoop Morph team down into the lower brackets? It looks like that's exactly what's gonna happen.
And that's what we want to see as well. Now take a look. Everybody on AAA says, we got rounds to spare. Let's take out all the big guns and throw it right at them. And they're still going to make the run for it. Morph team. 3-1 setup. Huge grenade. Lands onto a couple of members. Ambot's already knocked down.
Ow! Smart play by Jump. And an instant finisher as well. Poongod with a good grenade from across. Meets a couple of players, and Jump's just going to find an easy backstab onto Pew. Didn't know where those shots were coming from, and it's going to be Pew once again. Poki fights Koja. Instant finisher. Ma'al all alone. A 1v3, and he is found. Pops out the Orion, but what can you do, child? What can you do?
And they're even bringing out these katanas to play, and that secures it. AAA, attack all around of Thailand, advances through to the semifinals.
Dude, we were talking about how Indonesia is just giving them a little bit before they can take it all back. Attack all around, executing literally that play in the final match of the game. Giving them 2 rounds, making them think, okay, maybe now's the time for Indonesia to rise up. And Thailand just says, nope. Just nope. That's just an easy one-word denial. Nope.
Just swat them off clean. And booyah, baby. This one's for Thailand. Attack all around. They were just too good in Bermuda. Just like how you pointed out from all along. And you know what? The first couple of rounds that Borf started to get pistol round, started to shock us. Hey, this could be it.
Yeah.
Second round, nailed it.
Yeah.
Third round onwards, no show.
I mean, okay, no.
There was a little bit of fight.
They
still.
showed up.
Yeah.
But Attack all around showed up. Right?
yeah.
They didn't give them a chance at all.
Not at all.
And Poon God, that guy is literally a free fire god at this point in time.
And how old is he again? 14, 13? I don't care how old he is.
Too young, man.
He's
Too
times
young?
younger than I am.
And too good. Too young and too good.
Too good.
Oh my god.
This guy's definitely earning some big bucks right now. Parents definitely be proud, but it's just perfect team effort as well as precision. I think most of all precision throughout this course of the match because both sides are equally matched tactically. Yeah. And maybe you could also say that when it comes down to Bermuda, AAA, they're just one step ahead every single step of the way.
Oh, yeah.
There were moments that it went down to close fights, but it was really down to small nuances of throwing the right grenades and utilizing right skills at the right time. And one specific person that have always popped on the radar, and that is Jump.
7 eliminations through 3,222 damage, 43% headshot with a charge buster. Tatsuya clearly was the secret weapon of Jump. Every single time we saw him get caught in a tight little corner, he made his way out of there. But look at this scoreline, man. A best of 5 used to its maximum potential. All 3 rounds won by Attack all around came out of Bermuda. The 2 that they lost at next Terra. Could this also be a sign of weakness that the other teams need to look out for, whoever it may be that meets them in the upper bracket?
Morph team, for those of you guys who are supporting the sole representatives of Indonesia, will still have a lifeline run through the low bracket.
Yep.
But that will definitely have to wait for now because we're going to be moving over to our upcoming matchup, which will be Nate Magaxi versus E Arena. But it was definitely exhilarating where we actually went all the way, AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, E Arena, you could just see them drag this one all the way to a game number 5 as well. Enigma Galaxy taking them on. E Arena, the #1 seed, the recent champions of FFSI as well. They've proven themselves to be the best in Southeast Asia one time. Can they prove themselves to be the best in Southeast Asia back-to-back in 2 different game modes? Dude, if they pull that off, E Arena is really making a lot of noise out there.
Yeah, they're definitely made to conquer in that stance, but we're gonna definitely have to give some time for not only the players to get ready, but we gotta also take a little bit of break, my friend. I mean,
that dude's
total of all 5 games, all packed up.
But it's still a pretty decently fast day. I mean, it's just 8:41 here in Malaysia. That took about, whatever, an hour 40 minutes for 5 games.
Was fast because Bermuda was 6-0.
Twice. And then the last one, 6-2. Nothing much to shout about at all in terms of length of game, right? But it still took 5 matches to get here. I don't know if it is going to be as quick for this next one in the all-out Thai showdown. If it is as quick or even faster, then we see that maybe the battle for the upper bracket finals is going to be one to definitely look out for, because you've got 2 quick finishes going up against each other. But of course, all that just assumptions as of now.
Yeah, and when we look into these 2 teams, they definitely are very, very tactical. So it's also a battle of wits as well as bronze. But we'll definitely get you guys back up on a jiffy. So, of course, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Wait. Welcome back to the Clash Squad C Cup, brought to you by Garena Free Fire. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Contrary casters for the day. Today has been a pretty quick day. We've only got 2 best of 5s. The first one has concluded, but it was pretty dragged out, and yet it felt like it just ended just like that.
Yeah, and we just saw the prowess of AAA. Attack all around. They were so proficient when it comes down to every map that they played in Bermuda. That leaves not much to be done for Morph Team, despite them playing so well to try to even the odds. So that reverse sweep didn't manage to happen.
I mean, once again, it was just a very overwhelming force on the side of attack all around on Bermuda, but they showed that they could bleed as well on next Terra. That's probably going to hurt them in the upper bracket final later on. That's going to be tomorrow. We want to see exactly who's going to be meeting them there, right? E-Arena now takes on the one and only Enigma Galaxy. E-Arena has proven themselves to be the top dog, not just of Thailand in the recent times. They're also the first seed out of Thailand to qualify for this competition. They've also proven themselves to be the top dogs in the whole of Southeast Asia. Recent FFSI, they are your champions. And they pretty much won it on the first day of 3 days grand finals. The first day itself, they were champions.
First day, like, this is definitely a feat that is so difficult to be done by any team in competitive Free Fire. So now that we're going to see these 2 Thai teams compete yet again, of course, this is a civil rivalry that has been much awaited for their hometown crowd. But when we do take a look at those names, I'm pretty sure that Enigma Galaxy has got a lot here on the line to prove that they still have what it takes to take out one of the titans of their own region.
Of course, this is the preview. Match summary is nothing.
0 for now, because we haven't played a single game.
But it's not a must-play all 5 maps. It is a best of 5. So this could just end quickly with a 3-0. Could end with a 3-1. E-Arena could make it a very quick day. Enigma Galaxy could shock us all. Either way, we've got 5 games to call it down the wire. And look at how equal we're starting things off. 100 eliminations each for both sides. 9,699 damage. Coming through versus 10,600. That's not too far apart as well.
I was basically saying AAA as well as Morph Team looking to be twin brothers. These are Siamese twins, in fact. Maybe one brother was out of the womb a little bit early on with maybe higher damage to be done from E-Arena, as well as higher percentage coming from the headshot ratios. So, man, on a good day, Enigma Galaxy really does match up to that number. But of all the names out there, there's one name that has been revered by many, and that's due of NGX, because he's got numbers to prove.
Oh yeah, man, he's got numbers for days. 33 eliminations thus far. Up against Funa, who is more of a balanced backup player at times. You can see that with the 3 rescues that he's had thus far, always prioritizing and saving the rest of his team members. But if you want to look at headshots, if you want to look at who's outputting the damage, the shots that really do count out there on the battlefield, it is Funa once again. 38% headshot rate versus Dew of that 18%. Knockdowns on the side of Dew obviously going to be overwhelmingly high as usual.
And when we look back into their own respective matchups, perhaps it wasn't all too easy of a journey for Enigma Galaxy to get to where they would be. But E-Arena, they made it look like it was a walk in the park when we were taking on Expand. And that's where these numbers look even more ridiculous when you're going up against, you know, a team of Expand that loves to play close quarter, and yet they're getting like headshots and headshots and headshots for days. This is where, when these 2 teams collide, I believe this to be perhaps a little bit more tactical as compared to what we saw earlier on. So now we go into their composition. So when it comes down to all these selections, what catches your eye, AJ?
Well, J-Beams being run by Fugod gives him that extra bit of armor. That most definitely stands out to me. And Thiva being run by Caramel. Thiva, once again, 30% extra rate of pickup. And when you do pick up a member, when Caramel goes in for the save, that player instantly, not instantly, over 5 seconds recovers 50 HP. And that is huge. It gives you that extra sustainability. The instant ice grenade that comes through is not going to knock you out if Caramel is there for the save. But then again, that's going to be a question as to how the setup is going to be like from the side of Nigma Galaxy to make sure Caramel is in full functional play. On the other side, if you see E Arena, they are running the 4 Andrews. Everybody's got the defensive buff.
Yeah, the only exception here is Limit, where he's going to be bringing Moko so that there is a little bit more of an information gathering coming from the hacker's eye at the very least. I would say that, sure, it may actually help them a little bit more because Limit, he's basically the sniper of the team.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whoever you attack, if he's not knocked out, hey, you know where he's at, so the whole squad can be sent right in.
And it makes sense, right, that he's the only one not running the Kelly. The rest of the players obviously are going to be rushing on in. Limit does not need the extra boost in terms of speed to reposition. But if he does get caught in a pinch, he's going to be popping that Orion. We've seen it one too many times. In fact, the character skill that has been picked the most in the competition thus far as an active skill is the Orion. And in the hands of Limit, that just gives him that extra bit of time out there on the battlefield. B, to play the game of distraction. B, to put himself in a very sticky situation out in the open to take a couple of pot shots against his opponents of Nigma Galaxy. Everything. I love the setup of E-Arena a little bit more than I favor Nigma Galaxy at the moment.
Yeah, and it definitely requires a lot more technical aspects to make it effective. And they definitely have the credibility to be able to prove so, because, man, they walk home with so many trophies already.
Yep.
And that also tells you how confident they are when it comes down to going for such a setting where it's very self-sufficient, and then at the very same time that you ensure that there is still a form of stability for the rest of the crew for you to eventually go in for 4 versus 4 brawl. So right now, Nigma Galaxy is definitely going to be looking to get their hands all ready. And man, until now, the Marshal, he's still giving me a little bit of that goosebumps every time he looks at the camera, you know, like, he's so stern. And, you know, he definitely takes no nonsense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. And, you know...
Oh, he's like, hey, you better get on your phone right now.
Put on your earphones. Put on your earphones before I smack you down. Then finally, he flashes a smile. There you go.
Oh.
Not as threatening.
Okay. Man finally cracked.
Of course, as we crack a couple of jokes before we get into this next matchup, E-Arena, gonna say a couple of prayers. Not for themselves, but for Nigma Galaxy.
Oh. And that's what they actually did for Expand last week, where they popped up with the bunny sign.
Oh,
At
yeah.
first I thought it was a bunny sign, and then he take up like one fist up in the air and it looks like a rock, and he just says what?
Yeah.
2-0. Now he's gonna change that bunny to have a turn ear, perhaps.
You gotta change the words into a sentence. He's trying to say the bunnies delivered the 2-0.
Ah.
Yeah, that's why we're from the bunny to the rock.
And we are done with our jokes right now, and straight into action we
Speak for
go.
yourself, man. I'm never done with the jokes.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, ladies and gents. E-Arena versus Nigma Galaxy in Bermuda.
Ah, yeah. I have been waiting for this showdown as we wrap things up for game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's gonna be the showdown at Bermuda between the two teams. Who's going to start off on the right foot? Who's going to pretty much be able to bring this all the way down to the end? We have to see exactly how they clash out there in the C Cup.
Now to think of it, you know, like, we're talking about jokes and all, like, have you ever seen a bunny in space?
Bunny in space?
They
No.
send a lot of different species to space.
What?
But like E-Arena, I think if they do win Nigma Galaxy, they might conquer it.
Dude, I
The
hope
Galaxy.
they brought those animals back alive, man. I'm not in
hope so.
support of sending animals up to space, especially if it's like a trial mission or something. You send a human being up there.
Yeah. Well, we're mammals too.
Animals can't respond, you know.
Yeah. I
Unless,
believe they're-
unless they allow the rabbit to control the spaceship, then maybe.
Oh
I
wow.
might feel a little differently.
I'm not sure. Is that spaceship run by Tesla? I got concerns. Anyways, back into the showdown. Everybody is on pistols and containers. The best way to set it all up. A little bit of close quarter combat won't go wrong, especially now that nobody's got those glue walls going on. So first hack, who's it gonna be?
It's a good stalemate, right? Because pistol rounds are just so important for the next couple of rounds. It's going to give you the amount of money to make sure you're stacked in terms of resources, get a pretty much guaranteed round number 2, and start off on the right foot very early on. Nobody wants to make these mistakes. Funa did manage to sneak away one grenade from that airdrop earlier on, and they're waiting for that circle to force them to move towards that center.
Oh, they've got intel on site. E-Arena now charging with 2. And they're going to find that wraparound round being popped coming in from Stop. Only got to distract Limit for a tad bit as he tries to hunt out Shut. And Limit, he doesn't really get those angles. Now they really have to bring it around to Rosie. And Limit, he still gets one before he pops to Ryan. Meanwhile, Funa is going to get a couple more attacks from the back. Nimagaxi shred down, and it's first blood for E-Arena.
Team Ace for E-Arena, and Limit literally got a melee slay out of the round number 1. Give me a break, E-Arena. You just embarrassed Nigma Galaxy on that one round.
Yeah, and for the moment, like, I did suspect that these two teams will be playing very tactically.
Yeah.
But I never expected that brawl to be so clean. Like,
yeah,
it was true containers. Most often than not, you see casualties left, right, and then, like, you're just basically going down to that couple of members left. But E-Arena looking really clean, and we'll be able to get a little bit of that upper hand now hitting the round 2. Let's see if Nigma's going to be able to land those tags now on the Decisive Eagles. Perhaps going to be able to find a couple blow. But they're going to play from the outskirts, so a little bit tricky to crack the case.
They have the info on Funa already. Walking in with the Bison. Stop's going to get tagged up, and shut up! What an angle! Punishing Stop instantly. Stop couldn't even figure out where those shots were coming from before he got stopped halfway through, and Caramel bites the dust as E-Arena shows up strong.
Yeah, straightforward run. E-Arena, they just controlled the entire zone and just outdueled them throughout with every single weapon that they do have now. I guess here around Pacino is a little bit interesting now that Nigma is going to be bringing a few weapons online. So it's really down to do. But can he actually match up to Limit, though? And Limit's so confident, like he's still on that Desert Eagle, right? Like he didn't really need that upgrade. He's going to save for that next round. E-Arena hoping to establish a firm hold onto the compound.
I'm a little nervous for Fugard. He's pushed up pretty much very deep into the compound of E-Arena already. And this is what he was looking for. And he is able to pull a quick steal off here. And a double ice grenade will force him just behind this compound. Right down the middle. Very smart play in terms of E-Arena. Kind of trying to zone out the opponent's Funa. Keeping a good line at the back. Just to see if or not he can surprise the rest of the players from the side of Nigma Galaxy on the left.
They're going to be bringing these snipers into the corners. And Limit understands the angles that they're hunting on. They'll be forcing Dew to step away. Meanwhile, one standing into the direct open. Once that glue wall subsides, Carol's not going to be able to get much protection, so E-Arena is definitely putting a little bit more pressure.
There's a lot of patience being shown here from E-Arena. They want to get that guaranteed spot, the guaranteed positioning of the players from the side of Nigma Galaxy before they go in for a mad rush. Circle starting to close on in now. 5 seconds for it to complete. Funa's gonna get spotted out. Dew, what a connection!
Oh.
No finisher just yet, Dew. Dissipating the second player as well, but doesn't find a shot just yet. Funa recovers. And a safe zone will force everybody now to panic.
Limit just shows himself for a split second. Dew did not really land that blow. The problem is when you're bringing that op into the compounds, you're not going to find anything. The Limit with the Desert Eagle, he finds them all. And E-Arena, they took it to the streets, and they still got it.
I mean, just when you expected E-Arena to be at a disadvantage because the circle moved away from their compound, they needed to hop on out. They were pretty much sitting ducks, forced to cross the road. But they shot as they crossed.
Yeah, and it was so scary, right? And they assess that situation. They understand the priority target right there was Dew.
Yeah.
Because that was the only guy that could zoom right through those windows to stop them. And the moment that he could not land those blows, they breached right through. And just by that split moment, Irina burst right through and found those targets. At this time around, things are definitely going to be a little bit more different as they will definitely have to take some territory over on the high grounds, and Funa is the first one to get the dibs.
Funa, extra bit of information, sees Fugard, takes a pot shot. Argus tagged up at the very same time as well. Limit is going to back Funa up. That one good grenade out of Shut Up finds Fugard. And Dew circles on around. Can he catch them with a good backstab? Limit, on the other hand, going to try to reposition. Stops right by!
Double Orion being popped up. Who's going to get it, though? Oh, he doesn't have bullets to work with. Cool, now up, and he's going to turn around, and Limit is on his absolute limit.
The quick scope just does not come through for him, and the Bison saves the life of Stop. So 4v3, players from the side of E-Arena being forced to recover. And nobody's getting dropped just yet. Caramel walks away with his life even after getting sniped from the back.
So well calculated by the rest of Enigma Galaxy. They managed to even get the revives right through. Caramel now slowly charging back up. Once he is at 100%, they could definitely take them on. Stop! From the top. He's going to be able to find Orcus now. Only 2 members remains. Shut up. Just cuts around these containers, hoping to survive. Orcus is already down as they spot a few members of Enigma Galaxy chasing over on his back. He's just trying to find a way to climb up and deal with Stop first.
Smart play out of Stop because he does not rush on in before his team member gets picked up. He plays the timing really well, and he tries to wrap around as well. Good thinking, but 1v4, he was never at an advantage at any point of time. And a round pulled back by Enigma Galaxy doesn't mean much, but it's the start of something.
Yeah, and that was also pretty crucial for their economy at the very same time. Now everybody gets to afford 1 sniper apiece, but Fugard says, man, I like to play across the enemy line, so I definitely want to stick to anything that allows me to spray and pray, especially on this map itself. Snipers are definitely a huge commodity. Speaking of which, Stop already down and out.
I believe that was Limit. And yeah, well, but Limit, Dew now gonna get tagged up as well, but no finisher on to Stop. He gets picked right back up. Funa goes down. Fugard shows up. He's gonna be shut up now, circling on around. Argus, bit in the back as well as Dew shows up with his double snipes. Guys on a roll. Shut Up very aggressive, but Dew finds Argus, puts him down onto the ground. Shut Up goes down as well. Enigma Galaxy standing their ground, shutting down E-Arena one after the other.
And now to Limit, and he's pretty much at sitting duck over onto the top end unless he gets all 4 tags. We've seen miraculous plays coming out of the top gunner of Thailand. The best sniper, they call him. He's a champion here. Not bow down without a fight, but he's running out in the open. He says, you know what? I'm going to tap this one out. We'll just look for the next round instead.
2 rounds now for the side of Enigma Galaxy. Back to back. They've got the money, but so does E-Arena. So we've got a all-out equal battle in this next round. Let's see what E-Arena can do with this.
E-Arena so far showing sharp shots across, especially Funa picking up 6 frags. On top of that, going for those assists at the very same time. He's consistently putting those numbers across the board and also going for pickups at the very same time. E-Arena going with a 3-1 spread. Limit staying back over on the base. Stop, just cuts across. Now that middle control is going to be a little bit difficult to be channeled through from the rest of E-Arena. UAV now will be opened up. We'll be able to spot everybody on the map. They're going to take things slowly as they want to. Finally, Stop will put an end to the flight.
I love that the observer's having a good time. I can clearly see the pride of his camera work with the drone shot through factory and then zooms on up. You gotta love employees like that.
Yeah.
Those are the only kinds you should ever hire.
The perfect spectacles.
Absolutely. You know, that's effort.
Yeah.
He could just use,
He's a race.
Yeah, he puts in the effort. And Dew, shut up, putting in the effort as well. Dew surviving somehow. and he falls to his death.
Oh, that was fine because he still got members here to break out. But shut up, he's cutting close, so he finds Dew yet again. And Few,
Oh my.
he's gonna go down as well. Double, making a triple. Chub, he's gonna crash.
Can he get him?
it? And looking
Hey!
great.
Ah!
Ryan, he's gotta go for the reload, but he's dancing all around.
Ah!
And he will be shut off.
Argus, he better clutch this one out. Stop. He doesn't want to stop, but he's got a sliver of health left, and Argus puts an end to that. E-Arena pulling one back for the team.
Man, that was too close.
Oh
And
my.
I believe they really want to give him that ace, right? And all of a sudden, Argus shows up and really puts on a heck of a show.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to that 1v1, I guess there was a few disadvantages when it comes down to that positioning because he just exited out of the Orion, and the zone was also closing in, forcing him to basically cut right through.
Yep.
So that was as good as an effort he could basically pull off from. But now with the rest of EA thoroughly cutting through the center, Funa wants to pull more of these attention from Enigma Galaxy towards his favor. Limit trying to stop a flank. Stop's going to be cutting across, and this is definitely something that he will have to keep at bay.
Limit having a really good idea as to where to anticipate his opponent from, and Fugard spotting him reposition. Takes a shot. Doesn't really punish at all. Dew gonna get caught out. Funa M87. What a bump! And that Tatsuya is the only reason he got that elimination. Fugard now coming in to see if or not he can find the trade, but Argus layers it up. Fugard still does manage to find Funa. And Argus doesn't go in for the save just yet. Fugard's just keeping the pace up and gets straightened out by Argus. A little overconfident, but he had to pull his shot there.
Man, moves after moves. E-Arena just having flexibility, and here comes Shut Up, and he will close it up against Enigma Galaxy. We'll be able to do field to both members, so it's down to Argus here to find a little bit more of that crack. Now with the help of Funa, this is absolutely doable.
Game point now for E-Arena. Let's see if or not they can get out of this one. It has to be a slower push for the side of Enigma Galaxy if they want to guarantee a victory for themselves. E-Arena. It's a quick split coming through 2-2. And Funa is the one leading the fray. Grenade in his hand, Shut Up. They take very quick control of the compound. Spots a player, Argus has to respond. Had the sniper, couldn't do much. Stop now, getting tagged up. Orion pulled out in the nick of time, but it's a 2v1. A good glue wall to keep the two players back. Stop still surviving this. Bison, and in the meantime, Argus tosses a grenade. Funa finds Stop. Fugard trades out. Shut Up. Argus does connect with the grenade.
And it's only down to 2 left. And they're just hunting out like sharks. He can only hide for ever so long. The ice grenade's not going to hold up. And Funa, he's going to land that blow. And easy does it. E-Arena. First booyah of the series.
Wowee. E-Arena surely knew. Oh my God. I cannot believe, even he cannot believe, none of them can believe what just happened.
We thought that we were the only ones at the edge of our seat, but this guy's off his seat. Giving us a little bit of a clip moment. Make sure you guys get that on camera real quick.
That could have turned bad real fast. But thank goodness he's all right.
Man's got reflex for days, so booyah goes over to E-Arena. It's always so fun to watch these champs at play. And Enigma Galaxy, I think like they definitely did a few things right throughout the run.
Oh yeah.
It's just that when it comes down to that burst fire execution, we saw it from the pistol rounds. It was absolutely clean, even though it was through those containers, which were definitely difficult to maneuver around. And then round after round, E-Arena kept doing it again.
Yeah.
And that final round was definitely one nail to the coffin, where you see once even when they split,
Yep.
it's just hard strikes from E-Arena.
But the question here now is going to be if or not we are going to see yet another attack all around sort of weakness where you see them progress really easily on Bermuda and then stumble a tad bit at next Terra. Enigma Galaxy better hope that is at least the case, because the last thing they want is a 2-0.
Yeah, and that will definitely be pretty hard for Enigma Galaxy to catch up. What I do notice is the burst of momentum, the speed of what E-Arena offers on not only Funa, you saw how quickly the cover-ups come in from Showdown as well as Limit. Limit is not afraid to even go close proximities when he needs to. Sure, the first couple of rounds, he was holding all the way back. And that was also where Enigma Galaxy did pull those numbers down. And this was probably impressive because they were forced into the zone.
They were.
And they still managed to win.
And Shut was just an absolute monster in this engagement, going for the triple. Try to get the quadruple for himself. Stop just finding a little bit of a lifeline, and finally puts an end to Shutup's crazy run out there. And those were the times where we really see a clear difference in terms of engagement capability between the two teams.
Yeah. It's like Stop was absolutely phenomenal throughout the course of the series, but E-Arena definitely outshone them because it really felt like there was 4 stops on the other side that was rampaging all over the map. And even with them playing a lot more of a controlled tempo, they've still been able to bring in a couple of all these great ideations with the way that they control a certain zone, especially with those double angle marksmanship that they've been able to really back Funa up, has been able to get him this MVP title.
And we saw clearly Funa abusing Tatsuya earlier on with the double dashes across the battlefield to reposition mainly, as well as to get into position as soon as the round starts, not really wasting the second bump, or else he does risk a 60-second cooldown. So that's really smart utilization from him. At 33% headshot rate, you know, he was quite aggressive, and all of that aggression turned into great numbers by the end of game 1.
Yeah, and as you say it best, and I just noticed something. We can compare both of the looks of Tatsuya as well as Funa. You know, if he grows a little bit of long hair, he could be a clone. Almost.
He could.
Almost.
He could. But
Well,
you know,
of course.
one would wish, right? Tatsuya is a really good looking guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good looking as well for a young gentleman, but his skills is absolutely something else. Like, the way that
You
they...
could do a Tatsuya cosplay.
Yeah, gotta trim a little bit, though. It's all over the place. It's kind of like a blonde Andrew right now. I don't know, like,
Blonde
you guys
Uncle
gotta...
Andrew.
You gotta make a skin out of that and call it Awakened Contra or something like that. I don't even know. But, you know,
Even the sleeping form of Contra can whoop out the battlefield. Okay, you can bet on that.
I wonder what my ability would be. Loud roar, screaming at the mic.
You
and
gotta
like,
give me some time. I'll think of a good one. I'll think of a good one. It's not coming to my mind just yet, but maybe. You know, but at the end of the day, E-Arena, they really showed a clear difference in terms of capability between themselves as well as their opponents, Enigma Galaxy. Enigma Galaxy just couldn't deal with Limit and his long angles. And, you know, they, like you said, they tried to put a stop to it by a stop, but there were 4 stops on the other side, continuously putting a halt to all of their progress. So that was an easy game 1. We could also kind of hash it out towards a map mastery on the side of E-Arena.
Yeah.
And if Enigma Galaxy can have better control on next Terra, on the other hand, maybe we're going to have a game number 5 here.
Yeah, I believe that we definitely would see certain rounds going in favor of Enigma Galaxy eventually, but going into next Terra, I honestly am unsure of how well this will be played out by either sides of the party.
Yep.
Especially when you look at the way that they've been playing, so tactical, even when it comes down to those quick fights in close quarter combat. I just look at a few names coming in from E-Arena that have absolutely lit up the whole feed of eliminations early on. Funa definitely is one of it, and Limit always covers those long range. So I wonder, how does Enigma Galaxy deal with this situation right now that they are on that deficit? But Terra is definitely going to be the playground for them to be able to find their way back into the series.
As we gear up for game 2 out of 5 potential games that we could have here in series number 2, it is all up to Enigma Galaxy to steal this next Terra map away from E-Arena. If they don't, they are down 2-0, and E-Arena, you know them. They can put a quick bomb rush towards the last one to make sure the day ends early. Next Terra, this is where Enigma Galaxy will truly be put to the test.
Here we go. Enigma Galaxy. How much more can they offer? They've had to still a run from the qualifiers heading into the finals in week 1. Definitely see them having some tight races with other squads. Meanwhile, E-Arena, a team that they've been fighting against many times over the course of their own regional league, have seen them going on races and shut up. He's got some deathblades to work with. Throwing them on with a little bit of surprise and view. Knocked over on his feet and shut up. He's on the hunt. Right now being popped.
What?
Limit still dealing with them.
What was Shut Up even thinking that? He saw the guy, doesn't shoot him, goes to back up his team member instead, gets shot in the back. I'm just confused. E-Arena. This is still a 1v1. Argus can save the day for E-Arena here. Caramel inside tries to pick up his buddy out in the open. Argus patching himself up out in the open. What are these two teams doing?
Caramel got it. My word. It's a little bit more than back and forth, but if I were to break down anything, how NGX overcome those numbers back, nobody was looking at stop. Sure, there was a revive going on, and then he popped Orion, and then eventually both Limited as well shut up, is already down on the ground, and then he walks through the open fields unscathed for most part.
And you can thank Shut Up for that. Shut Up saw him.
Yeah.
Shut Up's like, okay,
Right
I take note of you, but I would like to go to my friend instead. And then he gets shot by Stop, who was clearly out in the open. Like, what?
First questionable play for E-Arena, right? So is this the kind of rabbit hole that they're going into?
Is this next Terra curse for whichever team that perhaps wins out game number 1? E-Arena can probably turn that around. The raving rabbits are now a little confused.
Yeah. Well, of course, that in mind, pistol rounds always are a tad rowdy for the most part. But this is definitely going to be a little bit tricky, especially when you have so many areas of coverage, which is why they're hoping to play from long range. Shut up. Tossing a nade up top. Not going to be able to find anybody, but he knows that Enigma Galaxy's in there.
Oh, wow. Funa just goes in for a quick finisher. Finds Stop, puts a quick end to that. Limit should have been punished earlier on. He is on the Travelator up top. Funa circles, finds. And it's a 3v1. Caramel getting caught out in the open. And Fugard's just no good at all. And Dew, the final player, what can he do?
I guess he's just going to take a little bit of a seesaw swing upstairs. Just playing for time. Dew still gets one knock, but how long can he basically buy? The damage is good enough. And Lorgus is going to find that final blow to get 1 point in for E-Arena.
E-Arena right back in it, showing that they bounce as quickly as they fall, but can they continue to bounce all the way up to the top? Enigma Galaxy. That was a surprising first round, but yeah, you gotta kind of give it off to the fact that it was a pistol round, so they were just kind of fooling around with each other.
Yeah, and then on second round, you see them easily going for those forced buy as well. And E-Arena of all teams, you know they are confident enough to get those fights going. And I think like things are definitely set on towards a neutral ground right now. I think like Galaxy, they did not get their footing immediately over the top. Therefore, they're holding back slightly somewhere in the midst of these buildings, but the glue wall's already being set up, and here comes Stop.
Limit's really low. Funa, what a nade! And Fugard just flies on into a tight little corner. Funa's gonna meet them halfway through. Gravity is not gonna stop them at all. In fact, it spurs them on. Funa and finds August in a tag team as well. Dew is the final player. Will deal the damage towards Limit, but that's not going to do him much help at all. It's a 1v3. Make that none.
My word. Orgus. If you notice, the moment he moved into next Terra, this is basically his map, his territory. 5K. I mean, Funa doing his thing as always.
Yeah.
But Orgus definitely have been lifting weights off of Limit this time, where he has been able to supplement on those close range battles. And like I said, gravity can be defined, especially when you're already dealing with Nigma Galaxy earlier.
Oh, yeah. One would expect Nigma Galaxy to be less affected by gravity.
Guess like,
What's the opposite?
I wonder, is it a black hole that they're holding up against where there's no gravity in there? I don't know. I'm not too much of a scientist myself.
I just graduated from science school last year.
Last year.
Sorry, yesterday.
So you tell me.
That's
Anyways.
why I'm here casting video games.
Yeah.
Because I failed science.
Perhaps you didn't take astronomy, and neither did I. Anyways,
I know Jupiter's closer to the sun this time.
Oh.
Don't know how that's going to help anything. But stop. Oh, what a riot pop. And he's just going to straight up walk towards Funa. Runs away in the naked diamond. Orgus finds Caramel. Aye! And a backstab!
Oh my, dude! Just cheekily ran through the back. He has so little health left, and Irina somehow worked through the cracks again. Oh.
3 rounds in a row now.
That's the 4th round. And now that forces Nigma Galaxy to work with, you know, whatever they have. Hey, just looking back in the bank, they still have about 3K.
Yeah.
Sufficient for something.
Yeah. I mean, sufficient for a lot of things. They are not really at a deficit this time round. They still have got enough cash to fully buy their way through. Full up on the armor as well. The arena going to be sticking together as Nigma Galaxy spreads out thin. Dew holding the back lines. Nobody for him to cover. He can't cover nobody. He's trying to get lucky with that angle. One good ice grenade is going to be released by Limit. And it does force them out of their defense. The stop doesn't get connected just yet. And he runs on out and he finds 2 players at the same time. Funa barricades himself in. Stop taking cheeky shots and puts Funa down on the ground.
He's just going to be absolutely cornered up. Meanwhile, this is the golden opportunity for Nigma Galaxy, but they're fumbling it out. It's only down to Deal over the bottom side. Few got slowly being shredded apart. Deal's spotted out already. Orgus, he is looking out for him. And that is all it takes. Still on the Orion, buying as much time as needed. How much more is it left remaining? Deal still finds it point blank with an op and Limit. He's doing whatever he can. 89 HP. And Dew, full health, lands the blow. A huge clutch from Nigma Galaxy to pull it back.
You can bow down to 2 characters. That's the Miguel Orion connection coming through for Dew. Every single time he gets a knock, he gets 200 EP out of Miguel, which means Orion's back in business, baby. Back to back to back. That Orion was popped, and he just kept rinsing and repeating. Dew saving that round for Nigma Galaxy.
And he came from the low ground, going for resets after resets. That point-blank shot was absolutely crispy. Now, things are going to be very different when we bring a couple of nades in play. Limit already being chipped off for a little bit. Meanwhile, Dew needing to also handle pressure from the other side. Limit clips onto stop, but Caramel's going to find 1-2. Knocking down Funa. Priority target from there, hugging by the walls. Limit's down.
And shut up as the final player. 1v4. What can he do? Doesn't have a great gun in his hands at all. And from across the battlefield, shots fired. Shut up. Nobody to save. All alone now. He can't even put an end to Dew. Can he do it? Shut up now. Really low. Stop. Pot shots from afar. One good grenade can finish Shut Up off.
They're definitely going
Got
to
the
toss
med
it right
kit,
there.
and the ice grenade gets it done.
Cameron on top of the kick, and there you have it. Nigma Galaxy catches back into 3 points apiece, and they do it in convincing fashion as well. Now, To the top we go as they battle through the staircase. Rest is definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge. Both sides needing to take close battles. And Dio's got to find those angles this time. It's going to be pretty interesting on how this one's going to square off for both sides. Funa immediately soaking in plenty of chip damage. Limit passes by. Philip really has to find a little bit more of that angle. Another glue wall being popped up as well to hold them all back. While he calls in for the cavalry, more grenades are being sent towards their way. Nipa Galaxy takes control of the center stage.
Caramel gonna be teased by an ice grenade, and Argus, good tags, forces Caramel, and Shut Up gets a God nade out of nowhere. Few God wants to find the finisher. Don't emote, bro. Too early.
Yeah, he has a little bit of room right down there, but this is definitely no time to press some extra buttons. Funa trying to actually run for a little bit more of that cover, while Fugod is getting flanked from the back. Caramel's going to find that angle with his up. And Shut Up will be able to catch one from the back. He's going to be looking for Dio. And Orgus did manage to hold the progress of Stop coming into close proximities as the rest of Nigma Galaxy. They're being spread wide apart. Caramel playing from the low ground instead, but dude, he's gonna bring it up close and still lands the blow with the AWM. Shut Up. We'll be able to shred him down the moment he steps up, but Caramel arrives to the scene. One bullet and install AWM. And Nigma Galaxy is on top.
Oh my God, what a close match we've got on our hands here for sure. Caramel in that 1v1 in a desperate finisher. Lucky he managed to stand his ground, or else E-Arena, you know what they can do with a good advantage. They'll run away with it.
That's what they intend to do, and this is that perfect time to do so. Once they go back into the Bermuda, it's about figuring things out, but they definitely feel like this is their turf right now to conquer. A little bit more of that split formation coming out of E-Arena. 3-1. And View, first one to be knocked out.
Shut Up with a good connection, and Dio is just a little bit too far away from the rest of the team members. Needs to catch right back up. That's going to be enough for Nigma Galaxy for a couple of seconds. Stop trying to hold them back. Grenade connects with no one. Caramel in action as well. Dio finally joining the fray. Good blue walls to hold limit back. Orion has been popped. Dio really low!
Oh.
And it's just the Orion who sucks away Dio's health. Puts him on the ground. Stop as the final player. Can he survive? It's a 1v1!
1v1 yet again. It's Shut Up versus Dio. Dio's down. It's down to Stop, and Stop will find another win right here in the same exact spot.
Holy mama!
Where they've clutched it before, and now looking for the point of their series.
I just received a text message from Stop. He's telling me his shoulders are hurting. He's carrying this team heavy.
Does he have an extra arm to execute? This guy is something else.
Just like, bro, my shoulders hurt, man. 10 kills in already, 4 assists. Stop's just running amok.
And we will love to see it.
Whoa.
He's just going to run directly at it
What a good
again.
wall.
But these walls are giving him some trouble running out. Ice Grenade's just going to hold him into place for the time being while he pulls back to the team. Gets a little bit of covered ground. Orgus now trying to peel right through. Dio forcing to use the Orion already.
Oh!
Here comes the
Ah!
What? Shut up!
And
He
Dio
initiated and he falters. He's looking for the angles. Funa patiently waiting.
finds nothing. Ice grenade response from Dio. Now cooking up that grenade. Tosses it a little bit too far away. Shot out of Funa. One good connection. Tanks the ice grenade towards the other side of the map. Argus goes down as Stop finds him halfway. Stop. My goodness, somebody stop him already.
He's got to do something about this. And oh, the moment he's out of the Ryan is the match concluded for the Galaxy, and it will stop. that will get them all by the end of it all for the Booyah.
Oh my, I don't want to cast that upper bracket, man. It seems like we're going to have two teams who are really good on Bermuda, two teams who are a little bad on Bermuda, going up against each other potentially if E-Arena manages to get the series win, because we saw Nextera pretty much dominated by Enigma Galaxy, but E-Arena showed up strong on Bermuda. Is this going to turn out the exact same way as the first series there?
Well, we'll definitely have to find out, because this is just 2 games out of potential 3 that we will be getting out of E-Arena as well as Enigma Galaxy. And I think that's definitely a very interesting story to tell if it will be a trend hitting into the grand finals.
Yeah.
6-3 scoreline. We see Enigma Galaxy inching really close into getting themselves up ahead, but it was some of all these clutch factors that members out of Enigma Galaxy have put through, especially with Stop as well as Do, to really hold down the fortress when they needed to.
I cannot believe how close this has gotten. Enigma Galaxy really showing them who's boss on next Terra. E-Arena initially kept things all equal, but I tell you, the rise of Stop put a quick stop to E-Arena and their ruckers out there on the battlefield. This was the great save by Caramel, but apart from that, it was just all out Stop.
Yeah, we saw E-Arena try to approach things very, very differently when they went guns blazing with 3 members charging right through. Sure, they have actually get some damage being done, but some of all these angles weren't exactly well covered from the back, so E-Arena kind of was left being exposed into the open space instead of those blue walls, and Enigma Galaxy definitely took every opportunity to strike.
Every single one indeed. 12 eliminations through 3,993 damage and a 50% headshot rate out of Stop. I don't know when he whipped out the Groza, but he was unstoppable for sure.
Unstoppable. My man could definitely pull more records in these upcoming games, but Enigma Galaxy is going to move back into Bermuda, where they definitely had a very rough time. So I guess that now that they've already have a little bit more of an information of how these playstyles are coming through from E-Arena, perhaps they can adjust to the same level of tempo already. So it's something that Enigma Galaxy could still utilize even despite the changes of the map. So we'll definitely have to give them a little bit of time in order to, you know, get into a strategic plan. So if you were to be on Enigma Galaxy's shoe right now, of course, you'll be feeling ecstatic, just got off hot from a win. But this is definitely a different ballgame when they do move into Bermuda. So what's the few things that we have to look out for against E-Arena?
I think Stop just needs a little bit more of solid backup. You allow him to be the rusher for the squad. He's going to go in there and pretty much get the job done. Don't let Stop get eliminated. That's going to be the secret sauce for the side of Enigma Galaxy. E-Arena, on the other hand, I mean, they've done this once already on Bermuda. It's just a rinse and repeat for them, right? Limit is going to be the front runner. In fact, the front runner by staying at the back with his snipes. And if he's going to be able to pull that off, if Stop is stopped by Limit before he can even close that gap, I think E-Arena stands a good chance of walking away with this again as well.
Yeah, I definitely think those points were definitely something that they will definitely need to achieve in order to overcome some of all these hurdles that's being set up by E-Arena, especially when we saw the first round inside of Bermuda. They played a little bit slow, and then the tempo hitting into next Terra was so much more faster. I think another point here is that members of the side of Enigma Galaxy, they're very, very comfortable to match up to this form of pace instead of waiting for the rest of E-Arena to rush right through, especially when what we saw early on back in Bermuda. Once you allow that solid burst, like it's really hard to digest every information at once, so it's always great to be that first mover in that sense.
Yeah, I do agree, right? And also, of course, comes down to some of these mechanical engagements between the two teams, because we saw quick finishes coming out of E-Arena as well, initially kind of playing that slow pace, especially in the pistol round, right? We kind of saw a stalemate between the two, and when the engagement started, it was just gone in like a few seconds.
You
And
blink and you miss it.
yeah, absolutely right. It was just such a quick and swift execution by E-Arena. And they just didn't do it once, they didn't do it twice, they did it multiple times in game number 1. So Enigma Galaxy, they just have to play the distance a little bit. But dude, I mean, it's Clash Squad, man. You play the distance, how long can you stay away from E-Arena, right?
Yeah, it's definitely very, very difficult, especially E-Arena. I think what they're really, really good at is rapid intelligence gathering, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
the moment
Yeah.
they see a little bit of movement, they spot it out. Okay, that guy's right there. Remember his position,
Yep.
and that's one angle that we will definitely take when
Yeah.
we do rush right in. And then they try to look for the exit plan as well if things don't really go well.
Yep.
Or like, do we have the other angle being covered up?
Yeah.
So it was very well coordinated, very well planned out. So, which is the reason why, like, perhaps with a little bit more of that tempo, give them less time to think.
Yeah.
Then there is a solid chance for Enigma Galaxy.
I think, you know, Contra's got the nail right on the head here. If you give them less time to think, perhaps you can just force a victory out of this. Let's see if or not Enigma Galaxy can do exactly that. E-Arena versus Enigma Galaxy, the final series of the day. Both of them have got a single game apiece in this best of 5. We still could go for a 5 game here.
Yeah, first to 3 will take it all the way to the upper bracket semi-finals, or upper bracket finals, you may call it. And out of all these teams out there, 3 are hailing from the land of smiles, Thailand. We also have a representative from Indonesia in the form of Morphine, which was unfortunately knocked down to the lower bracket. So winner will definitely proceed forward, and the losers will have to fend off against Morphine in order to secure a lower bracket run. So it is about time that we jump right into another exciting match, as we'll have to check out who will get the next Booyah. E-Arena, this is going to be their turf to prove that they have what it takes to be champion again.
My heart is beating a little too fast. The only way it's gonna get calmed down is by the end of this round to see exactly what the assessment's gonna be, because if E-Arena once again takes it, it's gonna indicate a map mastery of Bermuda, just like attack all around. And that just goes to say that if this gets dragged out into a game number 5, the advantage is on the side of E-Arena. So Enigma Galaxy needs to break that curse. They need to take this Bermuda away from the hands of E-Arena.
Stop swiftly proceeding forward. We'll have to duel with Funa. The top fraggers of each respective side having the same ideation. Stop. Verdine spotted out as he tries to negate his way onto the outskirts. Limit tries to suppress him with a couple of all these tags. So it's not true, but it's really hard to land on that tiny little head. Has been crouching and giving a little bit more of that attention span right now, with Phil getting a little bit more chip damage.
Funa, the timing needs to be good here. Doesn't get aggressive just yet. Waits for backup. Shut up now. Leading the fray. Funa pushes on fourth. It's going to be the Tatsuya with the boost. Phil finds Shut Up through all of that chaos. And Funa trying to back up his team member. Caramel does get the instant trade. Funa just a little bit too far away.
And Caramel definitely took his song on the blade to find one. A huge grenade landing onto Limit. Thankfully, he can heal up. Meanwhile, Caramel's on duty. Gonna find ways to dent the hopes of E-Arena. Now down to Limit.
A good trade right back, leaving Limit all alone. It's a 1v2, no sniper for the boy. Can he find a finisher here? Goes up, gets a double pistol. Dew is the exact same gun. Jumps on in. Limit just a tad bit slower. And it ain't a bait and switch, but Caramel tagged in.
Yeah, and the zone definitely didn't favor him at all. Limit is just playing by a nice edge, and I just love how Caramel have been able to sweep right through on that perfect timing where they were slightly distracted, as well as shots was being fired from the indoors at the very same time. And moving into that factory, we see a couple of double barretters. Dew's bringing a sniper in. Fugot's got an AR too, so I think Galaxy, they press on the advantage. They want that full swing up ahead to get the 2-0 lead. It's always a wide area to cover up right here. And fancies the chances on close proximity.
Stopping that instant engagement already, but look at the positioning by Shut Up here. Putting an off angle, finding a couple of tags, will be able to trade out Stop. That is a great engagement, but now he gets put on the ground. Funa trying to hold the top 4 and the rest of the team, and he won't manage to get on over that glue wall, leaving Du all alone. The pickup is good. E-Arena for the equalizer.
Right now, pop by View. He has done this before. He gets the blow. One down, more to go. He gets limit, but over on the back is where he couldn't cover grounds.
Good play, and did they manage to sneak away the sniper? Yes, they do. So, Enigma Galaxy, fortunately, needs to be a little bit more concise in this next round. They don't have the sniper on them. They barely have money.
Yeah, they're going on conservative mode right now after dropping that round. Risky plays as they kind of underestimated the firepower of E-Arena's double Berettas. Funa now takes charge of the warehouse. Great grenade. Almost clipping onto both members of Nigma at the time being. So able to hold by the stirs. Supply crate right through the middle. He's going to be able to have those angle shut-ups. Gonna look on by. He stopped cutting across. Damage done. Limit just immediately halts him.
Oh my god, Limit with a double now. Caramel down on the ground as well. Shut up. Circles around. Fugot and Du. Du gets tagged up. This might just be a team ace, courtesy of E-Arena. Du on the final stand, hops on out, and Limit puts a quick end to that.
Don't give this guy a sniper. He's just gonna stop the entire game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my word. 6 frags already. Just like that, Limit just catches up. We've seen him being outnumbered, but trade still went pretty close. And when he does have enough of that spacing to work around with, that was an absolute playground for him. Now we're going to be moving into Catalyst with pretty much the same sort of concept as well. I think my Galaxy kind of slowed down the tempo for a slight bit. This also allows EA to create that spacing. 2 members on the center. They can basically plant one over on the top to get some vantage point. And Limit didn't even need vantage point.
Limit spotted out and Du! What a trade! Stop's gonna find the finisher, Du. What a cheeky one.
The Hunter gets hunted instead. Now that Funa tries to draw it right back. Gonna force the rest of Nigma Galaxy to play right into the middle, where they still have the memory outskirts. They are kind of segregated right now. Orgus, this is a good moment for him. He drops in the ice grenade, expecting Stop to move right through. Ghoul wall being popped as well. Now, this is definitely gonna be a little bit trickier. Forced to maneuver away. Stop, flamed by the horizontal window. Can he get it though? He's trying to run away, and he still survives.
I mean, that's just crazy movements out of Stop. Finally gets stopped halfway through. Du all alone. It's a 1v3. Du with the sniper. Goes up against Orgus, Funa, and Shut Up. Takes position up top. And a quick grenade will be sent. And what can he do from this roof now?
Guess he
hops on off.
have to wait for this sleep, which he couldn't really find the angles. Big wrap around coming in from Funa. And this is just getting harder and harder for Du. He is being sold off completely.
And E-Arena picks up round number 3. That was a good attempt by Du, and it was a fantastic shutdown of Limit. But Limit's not the only threat out of E-Arena. Dude, this whole squad just knows how to run the show.
That's why they're one of the scariest team on the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
Whatever your weapons is, you throw to them, they've probably mastered it 10 times over. Now, E-Arena, they got their lead back, but there are still ways that Nigma Galaxy can still put a little bit of a damage across you. Now land the blow right through the shack. Gonna force to put up the wall. Denying entry for the side of Nigma Galaxy. more of the nades that did clip onto stop at the moment, and Shutup's gonna look for an attempt. But these walls are not doing him any favors.
Stops the enemy, stops him as well.
Everybody stop.
Yeah, everybody stops.
But we gotta keep going for it.
Funa tagged up, manages the recovery. Stop now from the back, circling around. Shut up, gonna get caught out and stop. It's gonna be found, and Fugod backs him up. A smart play coming on through Funa. What a glue wall. And this is just a stalemate, just to flush out the players of Nigma Galaxy so that E-Arena can take center stage.
That's just spot out limit, and it's about battle of positioning. Fugod now being slowed down by the ice grenades. He's gonna climb over though. He finds the angles, he finds the flank, and they breeze right in, hunting out every member of EA. Limit down as well. 2v4.
Orgus shows up. Can he find a save here? Answer is maybe. He finds Fugod. It's a 1v2 now. Nigma Galaxy going for the save. Trying to pick up their team members. Flanks around. Fugod slowly recovering his HP and Stop now back on his feet. Argus can't do much really low on that HP.
Quick swings coming out of Argus, but he's only got 25 HP left. Jump shot from the top. Nigma Galaxy takes over control, and the chase is back online. Moving on to Shipyard. So this is definitely going to be a very different tempo as compared to the first Bermuda run that they had back in Shipyard. Now that there is weapons involved, so we'll definitely see Dew playing a little bit more reserved at the back, unless that he would be taking a little bit more in that elevated area, and hoping that he can reposition with the Orion eventually. Opening nades being tossed across in the moment's time. But Shut Up says, I'm just gonna be a little bit more annoying to keep them guessing from up close.
Nigma Galaxy has got grenades for days. They can keep tossing them in, and Dew from afar punishes Argus. The limit goes down as well as Stop finds him. Dew, can he find the finisher? Argus manages to pick up Fugod. Down on the ground, not for long. Nigma Galaxy, Stop finds it. And E-Arena pretty much can't do much now, as Nigma Galaxy manages to down it just to one final guy. Funa holding on for his dear life. Caramel finding the finisher. He should be able to circle around just in the nick of time.
Funa doing whatever he can to stay alive. Well, I believe the rest of Nigma has arrived to the scene. Still have to pick Euro Poison by the end of it all. Who's it gonna be? Funa's still standing for quite some time. I guess he's just making E-Arena work for him.
3-all, the closest series we've got thus far for sure. In game number 3. And both teams have 3 apiece. Both trying to look for the victory in game 3.
That's a lot of trees, including in the map itself.
Yeah, exactly.
I love green areas. Anyways. Now, even Stevens we go into the open territories of Hangar. The 2-2 split going on. Very interesting start as the Galaxy choose not to move too far away from their spawn. Immediately, Funa claims the center ground.
Limit versus Dew on the snipes. Limit gets tagged up. Dew just slightly better at this point, and Fugod turns the tables onto Argus, and Stop finds one for himself as well. Funa served a can of tuna, and Limit all alone now. Dew knows exactly where he is. It's gonna be keeping him just behind the walls. Limit, what can he do? Pretty much nothing if he can find 4 miraculous shots. Maybe something, but no. Just shows up a little bit too early, and Caramel says, thank you for coming.
Yeah, and please come again. Because there's still 4 more rounds to go.
Yeah.
Round 8. Nigma Galaxy finally, for the first time in Bermuda, getting a lead.
Showing that it is not their weak map. Showing that E-Arena's not a team that they cannot overcome. In fact, it's the exact opposite. They can, and they might just will.
It goes to show that the team is absolutely adaptable to almost all sorts of situations. Just that, you know, the kickstart of the engine might be a little bit slower, but hey, now they're around 4th gear. Well, if they do have 6th gear, that's 6 points.
Let's see if or not it's a newer car model.
A reverse is a gear too. Technically.
You God fields it up with the ice grenade. Bites his feet as he tosses one to its limit. Limit barely flinches. He sees that land right above him. Stop now, circling around. M1887 spots out Argus. Argus runs away. Stop knows he wants to go in for the attack, but anticipates an attack from the back as well. Gonna meet Shut Up halfway through. Double pop with the double barrel, and the shots were too early, but still tags up Shut Up.
Oh, so close, yet so far. All these walls laying through. And he still lands the final blow. The moment that he shuts off the wall. And now they're just running rounds. Luna red apart with so many members of Enigma Galaxy swarming them. Argus can only do so much. And they're bringing these AWMs close quarters. Where's Limit though? He finds him. Enigma Galaxy, match point.
Oh my God. This is an unbelievable rise to the top. Enigma Galaxy not just put in a fight, but they are choking out E-Arena. And there's just nothing Limit can do about it. He's just a little bit too off. Dew's having a fantastic time out there. Caramel is hitting his shots with the double snipe setup, sometimes alongside Dew. And Limit as the only sniper on the side of E-Arena seems to be struggling to keep up.
And it really feels like E-Arena did overheat in certain moments where some of all these split formations aren't exactly working out for them. Now they're going to be taking a little bit more toll via grenades now being tossed out. I mean, no casualties just yet, but taking care of that mansion is that top priority for E-Arena. But the main gates are being opened wide for the back end. It's being sealed off with those glue walls, and Stop finds another blow onto Shut Up.
Oh, Caramel, what a position, but only manages a single tag onto Limit. Limit can't go anywhere, but the circle's going to be forcing him closer towards the rest of the Enigma Galaxy players. Fugard finds Argus. Argus puts him down. Stop finds one. A good trade out by Funa. Dew shuts down Limit, and it's back and forth, but E-Arena bites the dust. As it is Enigma Galaxy, 2 games in a row, and now in front.
This is what we call a series. Enigma Galaxy now putting the champions right behind him, needing only 1 more point in the series. We've talked about upsetting all these Titans out there. Week 1 sees both sides of the Evil squads out. And Enigma Galaxy is about to claim some for their own, and they first will claim their second Booyah.
Do you think this could be contributory to the fact that one of the players on the side of E-Arena had a boo-boo after they hit the Booyah?
Maybe.
Where they slammed their neck into the table?
Yeah.
Sounds like an injury.
That's a real headshot, man. And I'm just hoping that, you know, there's no injuries on those wrists, because he still needs it for, you know, a long hurdle now that E-Arena has to find 2 back-to-back points on the matches. So this is definitely going to be a difficult task, but nothing unfamiliar for these champions. But you can definitely see that Enigma Galaxy have solidified their formation, solidified and cleaned out all these rough edges, where E-Arena seemingly to show little signs of fatigue already.
I am surprised to even see that being the fact, right? But you have to respect that Enigma Galaxy woke up. Dew was hitting such crucial shots. Caramel were hitting so many of them as well as the secondary sniper of the squad. Stop was unstoppable, and what better player to front apart from him as well as Fugard. Caramel is the guy that picks up the MVP title. 8 eliminations, 1,804 damage. Very concise round for him. 30% hit shot rate, but we're not going to complain at all.
Yeah, and I just love the way that this team dynamic works. Like, you did mention Stop in the forefront so far, doing what he knows best as the one that opens up the trade, and then Enigma Galaxy knows how to also come in for the backup. And
Yeah.
I think like the formation definitely has to change for E-Arena to bring a very different element. Speaking of element, Enigma Galaxy feels just right at home yet again as they're going to be moving into next Terra with a little bit more of that confidence of their past win in that map. But if things could have actually changed for Bermuda, it could still be around for E-Arena.
It could be a game number 5, or Enigma Galaxy could just be saying, nah, I want to end it right here, right now. Like you said, man, they've already gotten it done at next Terra once. What's another time? But also to your point, Enigma Galaxy managed to rip away a victory map from the side of E-Arena. E-Arena could turn the tables. The one crucial factor is Limit cannot be the heavy carry for E-Arena this time.
Yeah, I really feel like some of these roles have to... I mean, they will stick to their roles for sure, but like some of the burdens needs to be lifted off of them. Like we see back in Bermuda, how it actually worked out is that later on you see like one of the members have been able to also pop off in that formal moment. If I'm not too mistaken, it was what was his name again? Argus, yes. Yeah. So by the later stages of the round, you see Argus starting to play a little bit more through the front line. So that was definitely a difference maker where they didn't really suspect this to be a different form of attack.
Correct.
So Enigma Galaxy, now that they've already had sniffed out, okay, this is how the angles of attacks are coming from, whether if they choose the left or the right, it is a similar pattern no matter what.
And also, you did mention that, you know, the burden was lifted a little bit from the shoulder. And whose shoulder was it lifted off of? It was Dew, because Dew was the main sniper. He wasn't really hitting as many of those shots as that was required. Caramel, the moment he had enough resources on his side, buys himself a sniper as well. A double AWM setup to overwhelm E-Arena. 2 long angles pretty much covered. In the middle, you've got Stop. I mean, you don't really need more than Stop, right? Stop pretty much can, you know, the worst case scenario is he needs to slow the opponents down whilst he waits for the backup. And he does that as well. Very, very well from the side of Enigma Galaxy. Everything was happening their way. I mean, you know, there's just a couple of ways that E-Arena could turn this around. Maybe they want to have a secondary sniper as well to deal with Caramel this time round. But I don't know if or not Enigma Galaxy is going to allow them an easy comeback here.
Definitely not going to be the case. A lot is at stake right now, but this is basically the first time that we see the boys of Enigma Galaxy get to rejoice a little bit more. And
Oh, yeah.
first time, frowns on the faces of champions of Thailand, E-Arena.
I mean, my mama used to tell me that, my mama used to say, don't smile too much, you're going to cry. But I always thought she was a negative person, but now I see what she means.
Well, sometimes life does give you lemons. And I guess this time, they gotta find ways to pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Sometimes it seems like you're not the magician's rabbit, but you're just a rabbit being hunted out there on the open fields. There's got 2 snipers to hunt these rabbits. Let's see what happens as we hop on right back into next Terra. Potentially the final game, unless E-Arena wakes up.
You can only imagine how grueling it is to go rounds after rounds against such tough opponents on each respective ends. I'm pretty sure that their stamina is slowly running dry, and we always take like what, 2 to 3 minutes for them to get their water, not even snacks, and they're already up and running again. Funa in a really deep angle though. This is looking pretty good as a starter for E-Arena, and that really forces the rest of Enigma Galaxy to play on those lower grounds.
This can really go either way depending on who makes a mistake. Caramel, cheeky, as he quickly sneaks away a grenade from the airdrop. Very, very smart. Fugard gets put down onto the ground. That grenade might come in handy. Caramel hasn't tossed it out just yet. You got wiped out. E-Arena will find the second. Stop goes down as well. Grenade goes wide. Nigma Galaxy wastes that opportunity.
Meanwhile, Orcus, he's trying to hold him all the way across. And here we go. Katana action, baby! Make that double if you can, but Caramel won't be stopped. Oh, thank goodness Funa had some ammos prepared.
Oh yeah, I mean, he brought a knife to a gunfight, initially winning out the first bout, but not for the second as the numbers overwhelmed him. Samurai might be able to shoot or slice down one gunner, but not three at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
It depends if or not you're the main character.
Tough to even slice those bullets as well. I know, like, there's a lot of those animes out there right now with samurais and stuff. And it always looks cool in animation, but in reality,
real life,
I mean, you really don't want to bring that knife to a gunfight. Anyways, Funa though, he's gonna bring those Uzis on board.
Let's see if or not the mini-Us can get the damage done here. Nigma Galaxy, Funa goes up against Fugon, who runs straight into his gunshots, and Funa with an instant eliminator. In the meantime, Stop's gonna find Argus, puts him out, shut up, finds Stop, back and forth, Dew, the final player. Nigma Galaxy needs to wake up.
And Nigma Galaxy, they're just basically surprised to the corner, and Dew, he's being sent out to the lobby. Like, just like that. There's no way out for him. Absolutely zoned off.
I think Dew's really holding bad positions. Yes, he's the backup, but he's due a little bit more for the team. If Caramel didn't step it up earlier, you know, Nigma Galaxy would have gotten eaten up by E-Arena. And Dew has been having pretty rough positions out there every single time he plays it. You know, nothing much goes his way. Maybe you might want to try to play that position or that aggression a bit.
Perhaps so. And that wasn't exactly a full buy that went their way on that second round. So, understandably why. Maybe a better weapon, perhaps it may have actually worked out, but definitely a little questionable. Quick pit stop or stop.
And Funa gets tagged. Stop has managed to sneak away a couple of glue walls. Nothing much to shout about. Extra bit of defense. And Stop in the mini Uzi does manage to find the connection on to shut up. Quick reposition comes on through. Argus tagged up as well. E-Arena not looking good this round.
So many fights happening on different angles. E-Arena, they're being brought out to the daylight, and it's lights off. Knocked out Cole, but everything's lined up for Funa. He's just waiting by the corner of the wall. He's going to be able to spot out Stop. But he's still receiving a lot of these bullets back over on his armory, so whatever that restock was, that kept him alive.
Nigma Galaxy, they should be able to survive this. Caramel tagged up by a good, solid nade, but he's not going to be tickled by it at all. Still do have the numbers advantage. Stop going in for the push. Caramel looking for the opportune moment as Funa finds Fugon to equalize the numbers. Stop finds limit. Funa all alone. And that's done as Nigma Galaxy pull one round back.
That was beautifully executed, looking at how they've been able to just cut through those terrains just like that in open spaces and not receiving much of those traits coming back from inside of the arena. Now these things looking to be pretty much chaseable for Nigma Galaxy as we approach round 4. This is definitely going to be interesting on who gets the point, because E-Arena, once they reach 3, they're going to look for that steamroll momentum. And just look at Orgus now pushing right through. He is definitely taking a whole lot of that weight off the shoulders of his teammates, especially from Funa. Stop's going to go get a little bit of an elevated shot coming from the boxes. Decides to pull back. His grenades are flying in. Here comes EA.
Here comes Stop as well. Flies in for the eliminator. Shut up, gets taken down by Fugon. With an instant backstab. Turn into elimination. And Limit all alone in a 1v4. Nigma Galaxy finds the equalizer.
tries to come into the stairs, but it wasn't exactly the perfectly timed sort of attack coming from Arena. Like, they have the ideas to funnel them back into that spacing and then come in for a flank. Limit, not much that he can basically do there once you have that area being breached out. So now going into the squares this time, we'll see if whoever gets a little bit more of that zone control from the top end of the center would definitely have a perfect angle against their opponents. Meanwhile, duels will stop. Or it takes a lot of space for the team. Orgus is going to deal with the situation. But looking at Arena, they're sort of split for the time being.
It's a slow push, but Dew says nothing slow about it, Mustachio. Good headshot. Limit down on the ground. Gonna nerf Arena a little bit. Nigma Galaxy going in for the finisher. Orgus goes down as well. Fugod pops off. Shut up! Caught out in the open. Tagged up as the final player. Nigma Galaxy is going in for the finisher. Caramel with a backstab. And that is the end as Nigma Galaxy pulls in front.
My goodness. We thought that in close quarter combat that Arena could actually fend off themselves well enough, but it didn't seem like they were given any sort of room over onto the ground floor, and that's what Nigma Galaxy plans to basically do. Choke some of all these angles and basically follow them right through. Now, let's see some Travelator action as we get ourselves into the factory grounds. Nigma Galaxy starts off with a right flank. And Shut Up is going to be a few steps away from the back of the outskirts of the warehouse itself. So Stop. He's going to see if he can find that opportunity for a lurk instead. Oh, he pulls out the shotgun and Stop. He couldn't actually get in time, but there is backup coming from Fugod.
Oh yeah, Fugod was there. It was a 1v2 Shut Up, just could not deal with. But now, Dew out of nowhere. Caramel gets taken down. Instant pickup coming on through. Nigma Galaxy not phased at all. Limit's really low on that HP. Dew trying to finish him off. Stop goes in for that backup. Finds Argus. What a shot!
And that was just him running through the staircases. Nigma Galaxy.
Mama!
A clean sweep. And we're looking at 2 more points for them to secure and potentially cost the biggest rupture in the Thai circuit.
Woo! You have your 2-time world champs kicked out and E-Arena down in the low brackets. My, oh my, you just never know what to expect from the world of Free Fire.
And this is why I love Clash Squad so much. So different from the usual BR mode that this is how you define how strong a squad setup is. Nigma Galaxy now having Stop, moving up front, cutting through the wall, finds the blow, and he's gonna go in for more with the rest of the squad.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna wait this time round. August goes down as well. Limit as the final player. E-Arena, what can they do? Nigma Galaxy looking for the series point right after that finisher. And they are in a great position now to execute this gentleman's sweep off of E-Arena, who won the first series.
Pressure all on E-Arena for the very first time. Nigma Galaxy proved that Bermuda is also for the taking. Dew, the man on a mission. 5 frags to his name. But the best one of the block right now. Stop. All eyes on this lethal killer. E-Arena holding back. They will play this safely. Limit getting flushed out with that grenade.
Limit cannot sustain his life. He goes down. Funa gets tagged up. Fugod going in for the finisher. And it looks like Fugod's going to be able to pull this off. But Funa's got a little bit of backup as well. August goes down. Stop shows up. And Funa does get one trade right back.
Stop. He's so low though. He needs to heal up. Where is the backup? And the backup has arrived from the back.
That's it. Shut up trying to have one final stand for Team E Arena. Nigma Galaxy, with the execution of the final round, executes a gentleman's sweep onto E Arena, who took the first game in this best of 5, losing straight 3 out to Nigma Galaxy.
Unbelievable. Their hurdles, the struggles from the beginning did not matter at all.
Oh yeah.
As they just rapidly sprint their way through the finish line. And they will secure the booyah to arrange a meeting in the upper bracket finals.
Upper bracket final slot now for Nigma Galaxy E Arena. Lowered a tad notch to the lower brackets. A loss tomorrow means they get kicked out of the competition. I cannot believe what I am seeing here in this fight. I cannot believe this competition, man. I mean, every single turn, every single round, we have got an absolute banger. And dude, I'm so worried for Morph Team tomorrow. E Arena's not going to be easy.
Either team that goes down on a bracket is never ever going to be easy for Morphe, but they're definitely a team that can actually match up to that. But first, going back, they definitely have to look into how they would be able to improve Bermuda if they stand any chance at all. Meanwhile, E Arena absolutely gassed out.
Yeah.
Like, this first quarter, they were doing fine. And then I think once that economy was broken once, it was an absolute steamroll. And they don't know how to stop.
Yeah, man, they just had no solution at all for Nigma's stop. He was the highlight player for a reason, and circles around E Arena he could run. But Caramel did a lot of work in there as well. Dio recovered a little bit of his pride as the sniper of Nigma Galaxy in this final game, but it is the one and only stop. 10 eliminations through 4,618 damage. 10% headshot rate, he'll close our eyes. It didn't matter for him. This guy, unstoppable no matter where his bullets hit.
Yeah, because he's been playing close range, it's all about those shotguns, and he's been able to secure those numbers back. And of course, time to time, you see him going for the Scar at the very same time. So he's about putting as much damage numbers on the block and now opening all the room possible for Nigma Galaxy to eventually get those trades going back. And E Arena simply had no answers. We take a little glimpse of what we went through. E Arena won the very first game, and then it was just back-to-back wins for Nigma Galaxy.
And Nigma Galaxy not even allowing E Arena to go past the halfway point mark in each of those games that they took a victory on. And this is the bracket setup for tomorrow. Upper bracket battle between Attack All Around and Nigma Galaxy. Both teams from Thailand. Morph Team tomorrow needs to be in their finest form as they take on E Arena, your champions of FFSI, your #1 seed out of Thailand in the lower bracket, because a loss means you go home.
And it's all in or nothing right now, where you guys definitely don't want to miss a single match. So that's happening throughout the course of the weekend, where we will crown our champions on Sunday, but it's all about the journey right now. You guys are from Indonesia, you know what to look for. Give all of your support to Morph Team, and of course, Thai teams. Need I say more? Need I say more? They're just so good.
And I don't know what it is about the Thai teams. They clearly are doing not just one thing, but many things right. To have so many great, not just good, but amazing teams be born in one country, in one server, you know, everybody needs to learn from them, no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they definitely have cultivated a very strong environment where they help each other grow in essence, because once you actually teach your opponents improve, and then you get to improve at the very same time. So I guess, like, perhaps this is that form of mentality that you could see the stiff level of competition coming from the Thai region.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's about it for day number 4. We are gonna be ending the day, but tomorrow, same time, same place. Make sure you be there. Good night.